Greetings, everyone. And welcome to an episode that's coming soon.
Dun, dun.
In fact, it's coming so soon, it's happening now. Yes, it's Monster Party.
Monster Party!
Monster party.
It's here. It's not coming soon. It's here. It's now.
happening now.
Yes.
We are in it.
Yes.
To win it.
Yes.
Feel it.
Yes.
And who are you, sir?
I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Stroth.
And I'm James Gonis.
And for this episode, holy Moses.
Oh, I'm excited about this.
This is a good one.
This is fun. This will be fun.
Oh, man, this is going to be great. Because I'm checking a number of boxes here.
Okay.
Right.
Because we've got the topic, which is wonderful, but it's also a guest that I've always wanted to have with us, a guy that I don't see enough. But before we get to that, let's just talk about what the topic is.
Matt, what is our topic?
The topic is trailers and commercials.
Trailers and commercials.
Trailers and
Our
commercials.
favorite horror, sci-fi,
Sci-fi,
toy
fantasy,
commercials.
toy commercials,
Yeah.
anything genre,
Yeah, anything Monster
cereal
Party would love.
commercials, anything that fits in the genre. We are going to discuss.
Memorable
Cool.
commercials, disturbing ones.
Yeah, and-
I'm so excited. I have my list.
And considering that we are doing this topic, we have the perfect guest. Our guest, talk about an old friend of mine, a guy that I met in stand-up ages ago, a guy that the minute I met him, I loved him, honestly.
Really?
A great guy, a director, a producer, a writer, a comic, a necromancer,
He's a director of commercials.
and of
What a
commercials.
coincidence.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Brady.
Jordan Brady!
Wow, holy moly jeepers.
this
What an intro.
How do you like that?
When you look at what you've done big commercials.
You've done commercials,
You
he's
did-
done movies, he's
Yes.
done documentaries.
I've done commercials with Matt Weinhold in them.
two of them.
No,
Yes,
now
yes.
that
Yeah.
I did not know.
Do you remember the award-winning Movie Beam series that
Oh,
we did?
my goodness.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
nothing kills a bad product faster than
Than Matt
great,
Weinhold?
than great advertising.
No. What
was Movie Beam?
Wait.
Well, if you make a great commercial for a shitty product, can I say
Yes,
this?
yes.
Of course, yes.
If you make a great commercial for a shitty product, people will try that shitty product, and they'll discover how shitty it is sooner than if it just were on the shelf waiting to be discovered.
Right.
Oh
Sure.
my
Ronzoni, I did Ronzoni microwavable pouch of pasta or pasta pouch.
What's it
They
called?
were
Ronzoni?
returning it and putting it back on the shelves because the commercial was so good that the stores would sell out.
You're kidding.
And then they would go back and go, "This is dog shit. This
Yeah.
is terrible."
Wow.
But they didn't want to open them. They wanted to keep them mint, you know, for...
No, you don't resell.
No.
And by the way, the Ronzoni people are very nice. I mean, they tried to make a convenient pasta pouch.
No, look, Ronzoni,
yeah,
though,
I mean-
the Ronzoni, that wasn't the only thing they made,
but
was
what-
it?
No, that was one product they tried.
But that one wasn't...
Terrible.
Seems like something that could work, but...
You would think.
Yeah.
What is the Movie Beam thing? Was
Oh,
this
so
a
Movie Beam.
a Disney thing?
It
Like,
was
what
the
was this?
it was the pasta pouch of movies on demand. It was so bad. It was a Disney box.
When was this? What year about?
I'm going to say what, Matt? Like 2005?
Yeah, so it's a
Okay.
while back.
So
yeah.
like pre-YouTube coming into its
Right,
own,
right.
Pre-Monster Party.
pre-Monster Party,
yeah.
Oh, wait.
pre-Google, and it was a Disney product, but they didn't put the big Disney brand on it. Surprisingly,
Okay.
and so it was a box that looks like a modem. And you would put it behind your TV, and in our commercial, we showed Dad plugging it in to a phone line. So it's like dial-up Netflix, and it would download movies overnight,
Okay.
and you would watch them with your family.
Right. So what?
It's
So
like
what,
the elf in the shoe shop that would provide you with movies.
But what
next
went
morning.
wrong though? What was what?
Well, by the time it came out, there was people mailing you DVDs, and,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
and
it took so long to probably
go
download.
to Blockbuster, and like, what do I got to do? I got to get a phone line installed to
Right.
run to my
Too
television.
much. Okay. Right. So it failed.
I took mine. I just painted it. And
But was
some plants on it.
But was Matt in one of these commercials?
So Matt played young father, and he gave a
So many years
testimony.
ago.
You've got to be
He
kidding.
gave a testimony
Yeah.
about how wonderful this breakthrough product was. I mean, but
Wow.
imagine coming out with something that required a landline
Yeah.
as cellular
Yeah.
technology is taking off.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
right.
Movie
that was-
Beam has changed my life.
It was like the
Instead of
8-track
hitting the kids, I wait for movies to download.
No, that wasn't
It was
your
like
line.
the 8-track tape of technology.
Now, we live in a great time because a lot of commercials you can see now on YouTube, vintage commercials. Can you see that commercial on YouTube?
No.
Oh,
I have it on a hard drive.
I'll show it to you.
Now, one that Matt did that was a huge hit, both award-winning in the advertising circles and important to the client. It moved product, and that was a Kia commercial.
IKEA?
Okay.
Kia, not IKEA.
Oh no, Kia, the
Kia,
car.
the car.
Right.
The car.
Car, Kia, the
Right,
That
right.
car.
the Adobe
Andrew
car.
Daly?
And it was Andy Daly, an undiscovered Andy Daly.
Yeah. Who a
Was-
lovely, lovely man.
Great guy.
Great
Okay.
guy.
And he did these crazy hand gestures in the car, and he would go, "I'm gesturing wildly, so my wife will think that I'm getting a great deal." And Matt says, "I got your back." and it was Matt's stoic look of what is going on here. He played the absurdity with reality, and then therefore humor.
So you were the
Using
car.
all the tools in my toolbox.
The funny straight man.
So
Yeah.
but he was the car salesman. Is what
He
you're
was a
saying.
car
Yeah.
salesman. And Kia didn't want to portray a car salesman as sleazy. They wanted a likable, lovable young dad
Matt
that downloaded
Weinhold-esque
movies.
kind of guy.
I don't know if you guys picked up my Kia calendar that I put out this year, but July is especially spicy.
Well, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Now, how many commercials would you say, off the top of your head,
Yeah.
have you directed, worked on, written, whatever?
Mostly I direct. A
Okay.
commercial director is more like a midwife
Okay.
that delivers the baby, right?
Yes.
The ad agencies write it.
Right.
Right.
And then we shape it, tweak it, present our take.
Okay.
Like pitching your film to a studio, right? And then you bring it, you shoot it and bring it to life and help edit.
So the agency says, "Hey, we got this crazy kind of funny idea here for this commercial. It should be like this. Let's get that funny director he was that comic guy.
The
who's
guy
in-
who did Movie Beam.
and then they go to you. So
that
that's
kind of put you on the map, didn't it?
Right. No, the script is more fleshed out by the agency than that. I have
Right.
to give them credit for coming up with crazy ideas and selling the crazy idea to the clients.
Well, that's a whole department.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
Sure, sure.
But I've done over 1,000.
Oh my God!
That's all?
The collective gasp.
well, I thought you
you
were
gotta-
I thought you were going to say like 70 or something.
No,
no, I
you got
got
a you got a good audience
That's
here.
pretty
man.
awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Thank you.
you've done car commercials. I saw you did some. They're funny, but you did some. You've worked with animals. You've worked with
worked with
foods
animals.
or fake foods or
You know what? You know what's funny? Certain people in circles of advertising will know you for a certain thing.
Okay.
And another group would know you for a different thing. So I have a friend, Jeff. We did a Kellogg's Finding Nemo cereal where we made an animatronic shark. Oh, and CG was just coming in, so
Sure.
we CG'd the eyeball.
Okay.
we had
Right.
like a two-piece shark. So under the table, you saw his fin with a puddle of water, and the mom shark turned and like, eat your cereal. And we made a spoonful of the cereal, and we used Elmer's glue instead of milk, so it would hold the
That's right.
hold the things right. And you know what they call the marshmallow bits in industry parlance?
What?
Marbits. No, that's a good abbreviation, right?
Well, because they're not marshmallows, really.
No, not really.
The whole concept of a marshmallow is that it's marshmallowy,
Right.
and that is not the marshmallow. Those things are like the next hardest thing to
Right.
diamond.
The first time I did
Right.
a Lucky Charms commercial, there's a woman with giant chopsticks, like 14-inch chopsticks, with a big bowl of Marbits. And I don't know the term, right? And she's picking out the hero Marbits, like the perfect stars and clovers.
Sure. Oh,
and
sure.
moons. And I go, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm picking out the hero Marbits." Wow. That was her gig,
That
right?
was
She
her
like,
job,
finding-
the hero Marbit
Marbit. So,
picker.
so we do the shark thing, and Jeff is a wonderful guy. If you're listening, Jeff, I love you. And he's in Chicago, and this was a Kellogg's tie-in. He calls like 4 or 5 years later going, "Hey, I want to do an animatronic, like a guy in a suit as a bear in a bowl for this new app, this new stock market trading app. And I was thinking, you're the guy that does anthropomorphized character suits.
Right.
Like, there's only one guy to call.
Of course, yeah.
Mr. Shark Boy.
Go to the best.
And I said, we went and had sushi. I said, I love that you think of me as that.
Well, it's people at the top of their game coming together. It's the Avengers.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And so, as someone who has worked in this industry for as long as you have, I would really like to know when it comes to a movie trailer, for example, which is something that it's basically a commercial for a movie. Now, it can use pieces of the movie. Occasionally, it doesn't. It can be whatever it wants to be.
Yeah, there's many different kind of incarnations.
Yeah, and so what I would like to know from you is, what do you like to see in a trailer? What do you think makes a good trailer as opposed to a bad trailer? And are there examples that kind of break the rules?
Yes, there are examples of break the rules, and those are the best ones, right?
Yes.
What I love is on YouTube or Vimeo when someone will cut the dramatic trailer out of a comedy.
Right.
Like
I love that.
And what a great example of how the music can drive the trailer.
Like the Shining thing that they did.
It was like
right,
like a touchy-feely family movie.
Yeah.
American Beauty soundtrack seems to be in all trailers.
Yes, that's true.
I think
She
it was
a
even
lot.
for Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Right.
It was what I like is when they don't give everything away. When you don't walk away. I mean, everyone loves or hates to see the trailer and going, well, now I've seen the whole movie.
Which seems to be very common
Well,
lately.
that's Sean's pet peeve.
Well,
you know?
I think it's all of ours. And that's what I would
Yeah.
like to know coming from you, which is that I don't understand why most of the people, when you ask them that question, they go, oh, God, I hate that. I hate it when they give away the whole movie, but then you see them again and again and again and again. And so is there something that we're missing? Is it the populace as a whole tend to like more information?
Well, okay, so I have 2 feature documentaries. I have 3, a trilogy of comedian documentaries. I Am Comic.
All great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And two of them have been with the same distributor, Monterey Media, and they've taught me about trailers. They like to put quotes from reviewers on a card. Like once you get a Sundance or a Washington Post or the New York Times, that with stars over a black card takes precedent over some weird scene.
Right.
And putting as many celebrity faces as you can in the movie.
Okay.
What I hate, the pet peeve, is when they put in the celebrity like Jessica Alba. And she was only in it for one scene because they shot it 5 years ago and now it's coming out. And
Right.
She doesn't have anything to do with it, really.
Or the person who was cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I'm always mystified when that happens, where there's an entire scene that you go, oh, that's not in the movie. And the reuse of music, too, where it's like, you've put me in a mood thinking that's what this type of movie is, and it's not at all, When you've got the Gin Blossoms or whatever, power pop kind of music, making you feel like this is some goofy romantic comedy, and it's about, an Iraqi veteran coming home, you've completely confused me.
Well, look. The whole idea behind this is you're trying to you want people to go to your movie or buy your product. That's the point. So whoever's in charge, they're all getting together and say, okay, what do we do to sell this film? Either they think it's a great film and we don't want to give too much away. Like, I have so many examples that I think are unique. Like, for example, I'm going to throw this out. As a trailer, The Shining, the original Shining trailer.
Sure.
And this is the first one I saw in the theater was, it looks like it's a shot of, it looks like a hallway with this giant elevator in front of you. And you just see this scroll of like, who's directing it, and it's Scary Movie or something. And I'm looking at this static image. I'm like, well, what the hell? Then all of a sudden, you see this giant thing of blood come out from the sides of the elevator.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it's just this one shot. It doesn't show you anything about the movie. It's just this one scary shot.
It could have almost been a setup scene to just promote the movie. The idea that doors open up and blood comes out is like, it's like the blood pouring off of the screen.
Right.
When you least expect it.
I mean, this is a famous. Many people. I mean, everyone has seen this.
I think the fact that the titles were also scrolling rather than just popping up.
Yeah.
Right.
That was unique.
Oh,
It
that's
was
a
just
good
very
point.
different.
Yeah.
And I think, even the original Alien, the teaser, the teaser of the Alien was just the egg without any scenes of the movie,
Right.
And just the music and everything. That was that kind of the art of the tease too, where it's like they will film
It caught
something
the vibe.
especially, but
Yeah.
they'll film something
Yeah.
especially for a trailer that's not in the movie at all. It's just something that gives it
wasn't-
across the idea.
Alien had another trailer that did show really quick glimpses.
Yeah,
Yes.
of
right.
scenes from but they were so quick, and you
Right.
just like, wait,
You
a second,
had no
Yeah.
idea.
but it all looked great.
Conversely,
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, the original trailer
Yes.
showed it counted down
Yes.
13 ways to kill people.
Yeah.
It only showed an axe raising.
Yeah, it never
someone opened
showed
a door. Never
the
showed
money
killing.
shot. Yeah.
but you
would go
was like,
like,
wow,
one,
I know what's going to happen in
two,
that movie. Now I got to
3.
see it.
Yes, and they even like cheated really, like the number of people being killed. Like you would see somebody and like that person.
and then that same person would show up again,
Yeah, and they did, I think, in the second one too.
Yeah, and that-
part two.
And then they went into like the next month after that. And it's like,
But actually, speaking of Friday the 13th trailers, one of my favorite ones is Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan, because there's a great teaser
Yeah, I
trailer.
love that. I do love that
I'm
one,
trying to
yeah.
remember the
It's great where it just starts off. It's kind of this romantic kind of saxophone music, and you show this beautiful night skyline of New York.
and there's just a figure.
And you kind of pan down, you see a figure, wistfully looking at the skyline, and then like some like girl jogger or something walking by. And it turns around, it's Jason. It's like New York's got a new problem, But it was like specially filmed, and that was great.
By the way, that was the same tagline for Urban Cowboy.
Really?
No.
Oh. I remember
That was the tagline
I
for
remember Urban
the
Cowboy,
film
though.
Giuliani.
That was John Travolta, Deborah Winger. Yeah. That was a very popular
Yeah, but
film.
I love
Very
the-
popular.
Oh
Very
my
popular.
God! Yeah.
What about the new Star Wars when that trailer came out?
Wait,
That's funny,
the
the
latest
newest one?
one?
The latest one. Force Awakens trailer.
Well, they always show it's funny because big movies like that, especially the Star Wars films, when you have big movies that they're kind of like pushing to get finished and released at a certain time, so they're hurrying up with the trailers, and sometimes you're going to see scenes and shots that don't end up in the movie. A good example of that is Rogue One, because Rogue One went through so many reshoots.
Oh, yeah.
But if you see the original trailer, there's shots of like Jyn Erso. There's like a shot where she's on that scaffolding that's on Scarif, and like she's facing a TIE fighter that's like right in front of her.
Yeah.
Great shot, not in the movie.
Not in the movie.
There's shots of her when she's got the Death Star plans and she's running around with other characters that were actually killed already. In the movie. So it's like obviously you can tell it's a reshoot. So it's really
clumsy,
interesting.
but
Yeah.
okay.
But a lot of stuff like that. Like,
I was just thinking back to Matt's original question. Sometimes the juxtaposition of stars in the movie reacting from different scenes
Sure.
are placed together
Absolutely.
to make it look like Mel Gibson is reacting to Meryl Streep.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there was that movie,
Sure.
when really they had two separate storylines and they
Yeah,
came together
right.
once. Or like someone will laugh and they're in a car, but they're reacting to a joke told at a dinner party.
And then they'll cut
That's
back
a-
and
that's
go,
a trick.
yeah.
But isn't that's so interesting though, and strange that it seems like the people who are promoting the movie, they're trying to convince you that it's a different movie.
I think it's
sometimes that happens.
I don't think they're trying to trick you as much as it is they're trying to leverage the assets,
Okay.
meaning the movie stars, and create and sell a vibe that if I go see Meryl Streep laughing and that crazy Mel Gibson having a fun time too, that's a party I want to be involved in.
Right. But if it's the type of film where, I don't know, there's been a number of films, and if you have one right off the top of your head, please jump in here. But the type of film where you go, I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
And this movie looks horrible. And then you find out, oh, it's actually a good movie. And then
Okay,
you
sure.
watch the movie,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. And you go, well, what movie were they trying to sell me? Is it a type of thing where the people who are advertising it don't believe in the movie?
Yeah.
Tanya.
Maybe.
Wait, what?
Okay.
I,
Tonya.
Tanya. When
Yeah.
I saw the trailer, I didn't think that would be good.
I
Or maybe that's just
I haven't
me.
seen, but I hear it's good.
But the
though.
movie was good.
Yeah.
And the tone was funny and it was a bit drier. Even the Ladybird, it's not the Ladybird.
Ladybird.
It's just Ladybird.
Yeah.
The Ladybird, I'm a dick, sorry.
I love Control Freaks.
That film, I don't think the trailer the first trailer I saw didn't capture the mood and the joie de vivre of the movie.
You sit through a lot of trailers when you go to the movies, and sometimes, like, I'll turn to my wife and I'll say, the movie can't be as bad as that trailer was. You know?
Like, what's a good? Do you have an example?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh God, they're so forgettable, and these are movies that I just write off.
Like
I'm never
something
gonna,
recent.
never gonna go
movies.
see
I
them.
will say trailers today. A lot of trailers today are done so formulaic in the same way.
Yeah.
Like especially genre trailers, especially like action films or horror. Like
Yeah, they show you the entire movie.
It's like the same guy is cutting every trailer.
Superman. You know when Superman died? What was that one? It was Batman Superman.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Right.
Somebody did a side by side of that with Rogue One,
Right.
where there was both like somebody dead and somebody rising and the rocks rumbling.
Right.
Like side by side, and they tracked almost
Yeah,
throughout
it's
the whole
kind of
trailer.
on an assembly line.
I'm with you though. When I watch too many trailers before the feature film, I turn to my wife and say, "I'm not high anymore."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's funny though.
My
because-
20-minute. I went to a movie not too long ago. It felt like I swear to God, right when the lights dimmed down after all the commercials and stuff. It was like 20, and I like watching a preview. I
Yeah, me
do.
too. I love it.
Give me
Right,
3. That's fine. Maybe a 4th one. But I felt like it was like 8. There were like 8 previews,
Yeah.
and I felt like with the movie, I was like, finally by number 6, I'm like, and I'm a guy who likes previews.
But there are certain type, and we are a genre show, so we're talking about primarily genre films. But when it comes to a horror movie, and I'm going to just throw out one that's such a great movie, and it's actually a really good trailer, and that would be A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, especially the first one,
Right.
what's great about that trailer is that it does show a lot. But because Freddy is such a new character and what he's all about is so new and his powers are new, that you kind of do have to show a lot of this stuff. Like when I saw that trailer, I was like, "Holy fuck! I need to see this."
Right, because this was like it wasn't like just another slasher.
It wasn't
Like,
another
wait, what's
slasher.
going on here?
Yeah.
So,
What's with the claws?
The
What's
Omen
with?
was like that for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
The Omen?
Yeah.
Remember the
Uh-huh.
original Omen?
was a pretty good trailer.
It was just it's eerie and spooky and
It just gets under your skin.
Wait, did it have the choir in it?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
it.
that's-
Because I'm trying to remember.
The close-ups of the Rottweiler's eyes.
I'm trying to
Right,
remember.
right.
I don't remember
and the
that
monkeys
one exactly.
and the baboons.
The baboons?
Yeah.
And they didn't give too much away.
But see, I think it's kind of a lost art for the most part of being able to show you stuff, but show it to you in a way that just cuts off right before everything is given away.
Okay, okay, and I'm going to throw like from the 70s, okay? Because when I was doing my research, there are some famous films that I remember as a kid seeing this. I didn't see it in a theater. I remember seeing it on television, and it was a preview for this is 74, The Exorcist.
I was just going to say that was on my list.
And the
Yes.
funny-
great one.
Now before it jumps on me, you had mentioned when you show just a little something where you don't show too much.
Right.
And with The Exorcist, the cool thing about that particular preview, or if you look at the trailer on YouTube, it shows just enough to tell you the story. And the thing that gets me is they just show a hint of possessed Reagan.
Right,
a
right.
hint.
Just, yeah, you see her eyes a little bit, yeah.
It
You
was
never really see
no,
Reagan.
it's right. But there's a shot where she hits the guy that's
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
bedroom. That's
You never
one.
see her
You don't
possessed face.
But actually you do. It's a fade.
superimposed,
It's a superimposition. And so what it did, because it was a superimposition, it wasn't like here's a whole shot of when she's totally possessed. It was a superimposition, and you saw her eyes, the forehead, and a bit of the cheeks.
Yeah, you're like, is that real?
And
or
it
what is
and
this?
it dissolves into the famous, iconic shot of the actual Exorcist, Max von Sydow, outside the house and all in silhouette.
with that narration, it's like the one hope.
The one
only
hope. And as
The
a kid,
Exorcist.
what's weird is as a kid, I didn't, and I've told this story before, I didn't know what that was. And I went to private school. My whole family went to private school. And I remember asking my brother, because my brother, do you remember the music? What's it called?
Tubular Bells.
Tubular Bells.
Michael Field.
My brother would always, when we go to sleep at night, he'd always have the radio on. But when that music came on, he had to turn the radio off. I go, why are you turning it off? He goes, oh, Larry, we can't listen to that. It's that's terrible. It's possession.
the devil's favorite song.
And
We
I
go to
said-
private school.
And I said, is that from The Exorcist? And he goes, oh, don't say that word. Mom and Dad will wash your mouth. I was so there was this big mystery, and my brother was like 6 years older than I was, so it was kind of a big deal.
A little bit of a pansy, though, huh?
Well,
couldn't handle it.
No.
Couldn't handle it.
You know what? When you get into religion, it's because he wasn't a pansy. He was, he was a big sports
I'm
guy.
just kidding.
But he was, hey,
I think very
religion
fondly of
can
your
mess
brother.
you up. Okay, as we all know.
yes, it can. Yes,
But that's not the topic of tonight's discussion.
No, that's not. That's
So,
not.
but my point is, in Exorcist, they showed just a hint of Reagan. They showed you enough to kind of get an idea of what the story
You
was.
see, like Ellen Burstyn, she's like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Tell me
a
my daughter's
great
possessed.
trailer.
Like,
It's a great trailer.
so good.
And can I just juxtapose that trailer around that time, about a year later, jumping on the whole Exorcist craze? There's a movie that I don't even think I've seen the actual movie, but this trailer scared the shit out of me. And you know this one.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Beyond the Door.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good one.
It's
Beyond the Door is like the Italian tawdry
rip-off.
Artsy
yeah.
version.
No, not artsy.
not
artsy.
No.
But-
like it starts with the first thing you see is the possessed lady's face.
Yeah.
Juliet Mills.
Juliet Mills.
Juliet Mills.
From Nanny the Professor. Yeah,
Who are you?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's it. And it's so.
And they show that door.
They show the door.
Yeah.
Just like The Exorcist.
Have you seen this?
I have not seen this. I
okay.
know the
It's a-
movie.
it's a great movie.
And it's the
it-
exact opposite of the Exorcist
Yes.
trailer.
Yes.
But it worked in a different way.
Right,
because it was,
right.
instead of being subtle, it was like, let's throw everything at this kid.
And you know what, Matt? I think maybe that was the logic was, well, you can't exactly copy it because people want to see more. Well, you know what?
Right.
We're going to give them more.
Right. It was like,
Sure.
And so now,
cat's out of the bag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Matt, I remember seeing that preview or that trailer as a kid, and dude, it freaked me out.
Yeah.
And it just gave me chills. And I remember going to
scary.
see there was some other movie like the Last Dinosaur, from Disney, and walking by the theater where Beyond the Door was playing.
like,
No. And I heard as I'm walking by something like, get out, I'm like, and it freaked me out. And I didn't see this movie till years later. I mean,
and it's all right. It's okay.
It's
you
It's so fun.
you say that it's got some creepy
No, it
moments.
does. It does. I'm just saying, it's no Exorcist.
It takes
but-
place in San Francisco, your hometown,
Yeah.
sir.
Sure, yeah, you gotta see it.
You have got to see it.
I will. I said it did fuck up my shit.
I know it's on topic, right? What you're talking about, and that's 70s into 80s.
Yes.
Right. But if you take a step back and look at it in context, these trailers were avant-garde. Because if you look at like Attack of the Blonde Woman, 30-foot blonde woman.
Oh, yeah.
Attack of the 50-foot woman.
Right, for those kind of
Yeah, it's a classic.
or
Yeah,
what's the thing from outer space?
It came from outer space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything
you need another
was
help? Some more help there?
I do need help. I'm trying to keep up with you people. First of all, I don't have a T-shirt.
And I think he's doing a very good job.
No,
Yeah.
admittedly, I'm out of my element, but I know just enough to sound stupid.
Well, I haven't directed 1,000 commercials, so okay.
But
Yeah.
short, they're all 30 seconds. Some 15. Last year we did a campaign of 6-second commercials. I kid you. No. Yes, that's
wow.
the new. That's the new.
That's
30.
about right. For
But the attack of
New
the,
America.
the
Attack of the 50-foot woman.
those kind. Everything was. The trailer was exposition.
Right, the 50s style of like ballyhoo. It was
Yeah.
like,
A terrible
see,
accident
a terrible-
happened.
Yeah.
As
Right.
if you needed to have logic to
Yeah.
tell you
Right,
that
right.
no, this could really happen.
A horror beyond belief.
yeah,
It's alive.
or
Could it happen to you?
I think there are things better left unsolved.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's a good one.
that's
yeah.
it's like one of my favorites, and it can happen. Or
And actually, to be fair, those trailers kind of did give away the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's funny?
They definitely give away a lot of the best
But there's
stuff,
something
yeah.
I just love about those classic.
They're more straightforward.
Yeah.
Valley of Gwangi, which is a Ray Harryhausen movie.
The little stop motion.
Stop motion with
Animation.
cowboys and dinosaurs. And that movie, all you kind of need to see is that trailer.
Yeah.
The movie's fine, but there's a lot of like dead movie space
lot of-
to like, hey, let's
lot
get
of,
to the let's get to the dinosaur.
A lot of cowboy romance.
We did
Yeah,
we did
without.
we did a show
exactly.
we did a show on dinosaurs where we had two wonderful guys on our show, Frank Dietz and Frank Woodward, who both love that movie.
Frank and Frank.
Yeah, and I like it too, but Matt is right. I actually timed it when the movie starts, when you see your first dinosaur, not the little horse, The dinosaur.
animated
it
mini
was like
horse.
Yeah, yeah.
42 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Too
so,
long.
but the funny thing is, it is true
It's
that
a long way to go for a kid.
For a
Yeah.
kid,
Yes,
for a kid.
yes.
And
Ooh.
Matt, I remember watching on Creature Feature, and I remember saying to myself, "Oh my God, where are the dinosaurs?"
Well,
I
if you
was
think that's
so-
a long time, Beast of Hollow Mountain.
Oh, that
Oh,
fucking
that thing had to
movie.
wait a whole fucking hour. Almost.
That's like someone shot a really horrible episode of Big Valley and went, "How can we
And
save this?"
decided at the last minute to put a dinosaur.
Hey, I
in.
tell you
Yeah.
what, why don't you animate a dinosaur, but don't take too much time with it.
Well, there's a distinction that's so obvious it's not even worth bringing up. But
But you will.
I will, just because I feel like I have to.
All right.
When we're talking about new trailers and movies that we might be interested in seeing, there's a whole methodology and like, okay, you're either going to turn me off to it or you're going to want to get me into the theater. When it comes to genre movies, especially and exploitation, I think I can speak for all of us, if all we did was sit and watch hours of horror and sci-fi trailers, vintage, the movies that we may have or may have not seen, it's as entertaining as shit because the best
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
is in those
Oh yeah,
trailers.
I have tons
Absolutely,
of trailer
yeah.
compilations I
Yeah.
love to watch.
Yeah.
There was one where they used real iguanas as if they were large.
Oh, there's a couple of movies
There's a
like
bunch
that.
of-
Yeah.
Oh, I tell
Yeah.
you, that was good
That-
stuff
those-
right there.
Yeah, and those always kind of. I always
You can
feel
still see the guy's hand dropping
Yeah,
it in
right.
the frame.
Yeah, right. I was like, poor alligator.
Yeah,
I hope
I always
I
felt
hope you
sorry.
bit someone in the making of this film
Yeah.
because they had it coming.
But it's
Yeah.
true though. It's like those older trailers. They would use a combination of like, really over the top narration, but also you would have like the phrases, splash across the screen too. Like
That's a lost
terror,
art. in and
terror
of
beyond
itself.
space.
Sure.
Godzilla's
Godzilla has
the original
probably
Godzilla.
but the original Godzilla, not Gojira.
Yeah.
Not the original Japanese
American-
one.
Right.
But Godzilla, King of the Monsters with Raymond Burr. And one of the lines that they use is dynamic violence.
savage action.
And I just
I love it. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see this. Dynamic violence. Okay, I'm in. I'm out. Let's do it.
Actually, I wrote
Yeah.
one of the other lines in there was crushing all before it in a psychotic cavalcade of electrifying horror.
I mean, someone had to write that.
How about,
And
how
then-
about you may choose not to believe it, but your eyes tell you it's true.
See, this is from Godzilla. Someone had to write this, and this is great stuff.
And you know what's interesting too is that trailer, because this is the first Godzilla Americanized, for here. If you watch the trailer, you don't hear any dialogue. You see Japanese people briefly in shots,
Yeah.
but you see mostly lots of Godzilla, and you see a shot of Raymond Burr. In other words, they cut the trailer just like any American film.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know, so it's kind of like almost a fully
The one soft moment in the trailer is just one shot of Raymond Burr
Right,
looking
right.
at destruction.
From Ironside, they just took an old clip.
yeah.
It wasn't even from the same movie.
Perry
People
Mason.
they do that in studios.
There's a great DVD that has tons of these on it. What was the one?
All monsters attack.
Yeah.
What's a
Lots of-
DVD?
yeah.
It's called All Monsters Attack, and it's such a great DVD, and it's
Trailer
like
compilations.
VHS.
There's
They
lots
say.
of great.
Oh, come on, Mr. Download Dude. Come on. I mean,
I'm
people
Mr.
still-
Movie Beat.
Yeah,
Mr. Movie.
Yeah, Mr. Movie Beat.
Download
People
Dude.
still buy. There are people out there that buy DVDs. Okay,
Go to iambattlecomic.com. You can buy a DVD of the latest film.
There you go.
Or iTunes or wherever you stream.
I'm just saying that this is a great
do
one
I
because
sneak
it
that in?
has.
How do I connect it to my modem?
It
That's what I
has
would like
a ton of the classic, all the classic ones, and it's fantastic. It's such a joy to watch. And sometimes I'll put it on while I'm cleaning house.
While you're ironing.
Yes, while I'm ironing, or just to make myself feel comfortable and happy. I will put it on in the background.
Here's an example of something that I'm sure they didn't mean to do this at the time, but the teaser trailer of the original Star Wars.
That's on my list.
When that came out in the
Yep.
theaters,
Yep.
it did not have the John Williams
Nope.
movie
Right, no.
music.
1976.
It had this kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was like
I don't even know how would you describe that, James? Like it's like a attention music.
Yeah.
almost.
It was very strange.
And it's not this big bombastic
it's like
hero
library.
music.
It might be library music,
Yeah,
but it's
and
just subtle.
I'm on the fence of whether would it have worked better if they had that music ready, because I'm assuming they didn't have the music ready
Yeah.
in
Right, it's very
time for the
possible.
trailer. But because it's so weird and strange and kind of etheric, it captured my attention, made me concentrate a little bit more on the visuals.
Right.
And it's stuck in my head.
Kind of along the same lines. The original trailer, the first trailer for Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know if they didn't have a lot of effects done yet or anything, but if you watch the original trailer, it's not that great of a trailer because it's mostly lots of close-up shots. It's like the fight in the bar, but there's not many like big spectacle shots.
Yeah.
There's no effect shots at all.
Yeah.
And like you see a couple shots of him hanging on the truck, but like
Yeah.
I remember as a kid like watching that at the time, like, oh, what is it? Like,
Yeah,
this is
I thought it was a
this
cow-
is from Spielberg and Lucas.
I thought it was
like,
a cowboy movie because
Yeah, it
Harrison
wasn't that
Ford had
impressive.
what looked to me
cowboy
a
hat.
cowboy hat. And I remember a friend of mine saying they were going to go see this movie, and I go, isn't that a cowboy movie?
It was very claustrophobic, actually.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
I just have a feeling maybe they had to rush it out, and they were still getting all this stuff. 'Cause,
It didn't wow me at all.
No, it did not, and it didn't give any sense really of what the movie was at all.
Exactly. It took my friend and his mom and dad coming back, and their mind was blown. They go, "Oh, Larry,
Yeah.
this is."
Yeah,
'cause
then
they
when you see
knew
the movie,
me,
oh my
they-
God,
They
yeah.
said, "Larry, you were going to love this film."
But yeah, at the time though, I mean, I'm sure they had other trailers later on, but that original one did not.
So then there's
impress
the
me.
necessity element of a trailer too sometimes, which is we have to get something out.
Well,
Right,
that's
right.
what I know the story behind the original Star Wars.
Oh,
trailer.
good.
Go.
Because I
really?
wanted to go
Because-
back to it. Because
Yes.
Sean wanted to jump ahead. I have notes here on this.
All right.
But please, guest.
Well, what happened was they were trying to get a trailer out, and they said, get Williams in here. We need to do it. Get Williams in here. The assistant to George Lucas called Paul Williams. So it was like spaceships and lasers. And so they had to try. They said, this is not going to work. And they got
they
some.
just-
Look at his
yeah.
face.
Wait. Okay.
I did a bit.
Jordan,
That was
Okay.
a joke.
Sorry.
Okay,
Larry,
so ladies and
30
ladies and
seconds.
gentlemen,
You and
if you
me
recall,
against
if you recall, Matt mentioned that Jordan was a comic back in the
How?
80s.
God forbid we have
long
some
ago.
fun with this.
No. I want to.
Now people are going to think that Paul Williams.
I actually thought that for a moment because
Paul
Paul
Williams is a great
He is.
composer, great
He
songwriter.
is.
Maybe he could have done a cool soundtrack.
You know what
You never
though?
know.
Maybe we need to rescore that movie. 'cause I think
Okay,
it would work.
With Paul Williams.
I think it would work.
No,
By the way, he's a very nice guy. Met him
Yeah,
once.
okay.
I met him. A
Super
delight.
guy. Yeah, delightful.
Okay,
Really sweet.
Okay, that's great, Mr. Name Dropper. I just wanted to point out that Star Wars, that preview that you saw, Matt, I saw that too in I think September of '76.
You're not going to get down to the day,
September
are you?
7th.
And if
It
you
was around
recall-
lunchtime.
And if you recall,
I was having a cheese sandwich.
Private school was closed.
No, the narrator. First of all, the star. Okay,
was taking off my
all right.
coat with the badge.
Go ahead. Let's all laugh. Go ahead. Make your joke.
Okay,
go ahead. Make your
Go
joke.
ahead.
Are
Go
you done
ahead.
with your joke?
Yeah.
Funny little joke.
Okay. go.
Okay. But the Star Wars logo,
Yes.
it was not the original Star Wars logo that we
Yeah,
know
right.
of.
Oh, okay. Right.
The box type looked different, and
Right,
the
right.
selling point from the narrator, it started out. He actually says, "Somewhere in space, this could all be happening right now." From 20th Century Fox and George Lucas, the man who brought you American Graffiti. That was the selling point.
Yeah,
the
which at
guy
the
who
time,
brought
though,
you
you're right.
American Graffiti.
Right.
You know that film about dragsters in the 50s and cars.
Well, we know
and
people
stuff?
like that movie.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. But
was
that was
considered a
that was the
hit.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like you said, it gave you all these little pieces and elements of something you had no idea. But what sold me, it's like, what is that furry creature going? "Arr!" And then
Yeah.
you saw these spaceships and these
And
lasers.
C-3PO coming out of the oil bath.
And it's like,
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
hell
What
is
was
that?
that?
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations. And then you see this little round robot that falls over, and then this really cute gal with these buns on her head. I mean, what's that all about? I mean, I was captivated, and it just clip, and it moved fast. And
Right, it
but
was
with
all
that,
very
with that-
vague, though,
And,
what
and
it
you know
was.
what's funny, Matt? It's like when Star Wars came out. Yeah, it was a big hit, but it was also like a word of mouth thing. I think people went to see it, and then they
Right.
got in line.
Despite the trailer. that
Yes,
original
exactly.
Trailer.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But it's like the trailer. The funny thing is when the film came out, I didn't see it right away. I wanted to see it. I didn't see it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I
but it was
don't
like
think I
my
saw it right
older
away
brothers
either.
who went to see it, and they're, oh, Larry, oh.
But by the time I went to see it,
I've
in my
ne-
local
I've never
theater,
been
it was like a huge thing. It was like a huge line.
I've never been a first day guy. I'm like, let's.
Yeah,
you know.
but you wanted to see it. What was,
Oh,
what
I
was
did
your-
want to.
your
Of course, I
thing?
wanted to see it, and I
Right.
loved it. But it came off like an entirely different movie than that trailer would
yeah,
lead you
that's
to
true.
believe.
But also, I think what sold Sean on it was the line "Star Wars, 1,000,000,000 years in the making, and it's coming to you this summer."
because that's all about Sean.
Well,
Sean loves.
yes.
He's,
I love
he's
Billy
kind of a
Bob
date
Thing.
nerd.
No, because it ends with there's an explosion, and we know how much he's like.
I
He's
love
like
explosions.
pyro guy. He likes to
That's it. That was
blows
all
up
it
his
took.
toys and
Now,
stuff.
if you watch this Spielberg documentary, I believe it's on HBO.
Oh yeah, we just saw that recently.
They talk about like Spielberg and Scorsese, and who else was in that little pack?
De Palma.
De Palma.
Yeah.
They said to George Lucas, put the crawl up with a little backstory. That was someone else's idea. Like, that's what it needs. He showed them a print of the film.
Yeah.
Like, and they aligned
Like
the
it
front
jumped
end
into
for
it too fast. Like you
Well, that
needed
was
the crawl
also-
to kind of
The crawl.
let people-
Well, the crawl would let people bring people into the world and set up the story.
But that was also way back to the Flash
Gordon. That's what they did in
Serial.
Flash
Yeah,
Gordon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's,
But
it's
that's
a
true.
great idea. It's a
And
beautiful idea.
it's a great idea. It's a great movie, that original one, and they didn't need to do it like digital Star Wars ad
No, of
stuff.
course
Just
not.
that
No,
original
yeah.
was
But
great.
it's
Stop
true that back
remaking
then-
your movie.
But
Just
what-
let your movie exist in time.
But
you know?
what's
Yeah.
cool for listeners who you don't know, you can actually go to YouTube and type in original Star Wars trailer, and you'll see the one that
Yes,
came out
yeah.
in '76.
Because it really was different back then. Because you could just show snippets of things, and they let people wonder, and left it ambiguous, and let you wondering about what's going on.
And there was no episode 4. It was the name of the movie was Star Wars.
Sure, right, yeah. But now here is that we're
Wookiees and rainbows.
Look, I like Paul Williams. I just want to let you know for the record. What he did for the Muppet movie, I loved, and he would
Oscar nominated.
Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Hey, I'm with you there, But just to be clear, he did not help with the music of the Star Wars.
So,
in an alternate universe,
I
he
beg to
did.
differ. I think our hardcore listeners know to trust
True.
me and look up Paul Williams and Star Wars.
Okay,
it's all right there.
does someone have
on the
another
Google.
trailer or a commercial to talk about here?
I have one because we've been talking about these trailers that give you a little snippet of something. And I think I've got the masterpiece of those trailers. And I discovered this because I collect 16 millimeter films.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there's something, it just warms my heart to hear a projector and to thread it. It just feels, it's joy. You
Not
know?
Super 16, 16.
16.
Which a lot of
16.
movies were distributed on.
Yes, yeah. So I, on eBay, found a print of this trailer. It's about a minute, and it's for Clockwork Orange.
I knew that was going to come up today.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange. There's a trailer that I got that is now. What's the Lone Ranger music? The
William Tell
Overture.
Overture, right.
William Tell Overture. So it's that, and it's Wendy Carlos
Right.
version
Yeah.
of that. And they start off with and it's a minute of super short
Yes,
little
like-
snippets
Yes.
of visuals.
Yeah.
And done kind of to the beat of the William Tell Overture. And it's so great because the images come so fast. And it kind of does almost show you the whole movie, but it's all out of context.
It's almost like the scene in the movie where Alex is forced to watch, images,
yes.
sensory overload.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
You're him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost takes on a subliminal kind of feel
Yeah,
to it.
totally.
Matt, what's the date on that, by the way? It's
That was like 75. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, we talked about Clockwork Orange on a previous show before, but it's I don't remember seeing that as a kid. It wasn't until
Oh, I never. No, me
no,
neither.
you know what?
Right.
You know what it
What
was?
kind of parenting would that be?
Exactly. No, it was in the 80s.
Progressive.
Matt, it was in the
Your brother
80s.
wouldn't let you listen to the William Tell Overture.
That's very funny, James. Very, very funny.
I'm waiting for the Lego Clockwork Orange movie.
Okay. Okay, so
I interrupted. I
yes,
apologize.
yes,
I'm a
you
bad
did.
guest.
That's
I apologize.
no.
Or not, you're a great.
No,
Yeah, no.
you're fine. You're fine.
right.
But it
Come on,
wasn't
Mr.
until-
Host.
I'm not. Look, this is a group thing. Hey, we're a team. Come on.
All right.
But it was in the late '80s when I went to an art house show of all films, Eraserhead, and the preview that they showed was for Clockwork Orange, and I had never seen that before. Matt,
Was it
And-
that one or was it a
no?
more
It was
traditional
that
one?
one. It was
okay.
that one because it was an art house, so they showed a lot of like cult classic films, and I mean I knew of the film, but I had never seen it before. And when I saw that preview in the late '80s, I went, "Oh my god, that is just so trippy! I know about this." And
It blows your mind.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
does
yeah.
blow
And
your
also,
mind.
just when you get all those Kubrick visuals, and then have those visuals, which even just when you're watching the film at a normal speed, are amazing.
Right.
And to have all that coming at you so quickly,
The William Tell
really made an
Overture-
impression.
The William Tell Overture is also so connected to the Lone Ranger, and it's such a rousing piece of music that the last reboot they did with Johnny Depp pissed me off, frankly, when I saw the trailer, because I thought, you know what? They blew it. Because if they had cut this to the classic William Tell Overture,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer.
They might have actually had me going to the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
I
You know?
agree. I agree
Yeah.
with you. That was a
I
missed
saw that
opportunity.
movie in the theater
Really?
because we were in Arkansas visiting my father-in-law, and
And in fairness,
ugh.
in fairness, no, it's
that's
like
rough going.
Is
I
the
never
father-in-law
saw
or
it.
the movie? I'm not. You're like, I just want to go somewhere we don't have to talk.
look, but it's like, look,
he doesn't listen.
when the movie came out, it's like this is a big budget movie, and hey, Johnny Depp is
got
plays
a bird
Talkin.
on his head.
Yeah,
And he
what's
talks to it.
but it's like it was such a bad movie. But it's like
That's horrible.
But the preview did not sell James on wanting to go.
It could have at least been a great trailer if they'd used that
Right,
music.
right,
That's my
right.
point.
A great trailer.
It could have been.
The Kingsman with the Arnie Hammer.
The
The
first-
new one. The new one.
the new
well,
one.
the first one was great too.
I haven't seen
the
it.
first one is really great.
It's really great. The trailer's great. I like the movie. And then
I
we
did
went
too.
and saw the second one, and the trailer had a lot of that same cut it to a song. Like I
Right,
think the
right.
first one it was like Sweet Home Alabama or something. I forget the song in the second one, but they cut a music video type trailer.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And you're just tapping your foot. And I thought what is it? Drive Baby? Baby Driver?
Oh, yeah, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. I thought that trailer was good.
Yeah, and I think when you get into Edgar Wright territory,
Ooh.
I think that's a guy who
classic.
He has his finger on
he's
what
cut his
doing,
teeth and that kind of
and-
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's funny because you just mentioned, okay, here's a movie that's a good movie, and we're going to make this flashy trailer, okay? And again, the idea is to make something flashy or entertaining enough so that you get people to go pay their money to get a ticket and see that movie.
Put butts in seats.
Exactly. And I've talked about this film before, a trailer that fooled me and sold me. I'm talking about the 1993 movie Super Mario Brothers. Now, I know. See, now, look,
he's-
we all
he's got a
laugh.
vendetta.
No. We all laugh. I know. George's going, oh, Larry, you went to see that? You see, buddy, when the film preview came out.
Didn't have Bob Hopkins.
Yes.
Mario? John
Leguizamo.
Leguizamo, who you love and everything.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper. Hello. No, you're laughing. No, it's like if you played the video game, it's like, oh my gosh, here they are, they're all alive, and you see dinosaurs.
That's what we've been wanting.
No,
What was it about the trailer?
the
though,
point that I'm trying to. Okay, first of all, it was cut like an MTV video,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I just watched it again to prove to myself. It's not the clips that the shots that they use. It's not a second. It's like half a second.
It's also
almost.
canted
Right.
camera angles.
The camera
It
angles.
was shot more video influence.
But
back
yes.
in the-
But it was fast. It was fast paced, and the music they used was that song. I've got the power.
Yeah. CNC music.
Which you've never seen that
I've got the power.
in a trailer ever.
No.
They only used it once.
No, okay, but it's like, and you saw a quick clip of Dennis Hopper, Bob Hopkins, this weird environment, and these dinosaurs, and look, Jordan, they threw enough at me to make me go. I was with a buddy, and we went, oh my gosh, this looks great. Yes, they sold me, and I spent my $5 or $7 or whatever it was at that time, and we went to see that movie. We sat there, and it was like nothing like the trailer.
So you were disappointed that the film about the two-dimensional video game character sucked.
Yes. I was disappointed. Well, I thought it was. Look, I thought there was going to be more
gonna
action. It was going to be
flesh it
faster.
out a little
No,
bit.
Jordan, it was slow. It was.
I remember.
and I was mad. I was pissed
Yeah.
off the whole time when
I want to know the backstory about the ladders and the.
No. See, and it was just
We're at-
so frustrating, and I could see it too. They said, you know what? We've got a turd of a movie to get people into this
Sure,
theater.
sure.
We need to make this thing
Yeah.
really flashy. Okay.
I've got the power.
Always good.
Yeah.
And
good.
so
Go-to.
for anyone who's laughing at me, I would just say you go to YouTube, type in trailer for Super Mario Brothers, and the funny thing is, all the comments that people are leaving, there's like, yeah, that's a great trailer, and it's like so much better than the movie.
First of all, no one's laughing at you. They're laughing with us.
Right.
And we're a team, and there's no I in Clockwork Orange. We are a team. Can I tell you, I did a commercial for a Mario Brother game tie-in. This is later. This is like 2006, maybe 2007, for McDonald's for a Happy Meal when they came out with these toys. Now, McDonald's is the #1 toy manufacturer in the world.
No.
Yes, yes.
I
they
never
are.
thought about
They
that.
are because of everything.
The Happy Meals.
And when my kids were young and eating Happy Meals and things like that, I would judge the toy, and I taught them to have a sense of quality. With the toy.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a fun toy. And if it was just something that balanced on something else, I'd go, that's a lame-o.
Yeah.
Why don't you go give it to that kid, that little kid over there who probably doesn't have a lot of toys? And he would, they'd go, my dad said, give this to you. It's a lame-o. I said, leave that part out. But I'm dead serious now.
But it's like the toys, when they would make the toys, they have to say to themselves, no, look, the toy has to only cost us something like 66 cents or something.
Oh,
to make.
no, like 6 cents.
6 cents,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's like if you add a spring and a screw, it's like, whoa. We can't have a screw in this thing.
And
we
then-
can put in the spring.
They should make a documentary about Happy Meal toys called The Sixth Cent.
No, can you imagine
And
if
you
it went
find out you're dead at
No,
the
no,
end.
no. But I'm saying it's like a lot of those toys. It's like it may be one little gag or one little thing, and it's like, well, if you put a label or a sticker on or something, it's like, whoa, that's going to go over our 6 cents. And
one of them, a Burger King kids meal tie-in for Avatar, not the Shanight Shalamalama movie. The
animated thing,
animated
right, yeah,
Avatar
yeah, yeah.
movie.
Oh, right.
It literally was a base and a thing that just balanced.
Okay.
And then
they've-
the other one was
Yeah.
a card that would go into a base,
Oh.
and it would light up.
Oh,
and that was the premium one.
Oh, a
But
card.
and I would say to my kids, like, so you light it up, and then what do you do? Like run around the neighborhood? That's lame.
Yeah.
But the Mario Brothers, this is interesting, I think, and I hope your listeners find it interesting.
I'm sure they will.
So, like I said, 2006, 2007, so like 10 years ago. And the internet is blossoming, and YouTube is a sensation. We're having these viral, air quotes, videos show up. And this college, it was like Lehigh College or something in Pennsylvania, they acted out the Mario Brothers theme where do-do-do-do-do-do, and they had people dressed in black against a black curtain, like, theater and marionettes would do that. And they would lift someone up and put them up, and they would do stuff, and they would move the props around. So you would hit the coin, and a guy would move the prop on a stick. the
Right. It's
coin,
like a
everything.
live show.
Like a live show.
Mummenschanz.
A bit, yeah. Without the toilet paper.
Optional.
We did it, but we did it against blue, and we had people wear blue suits, and we didn't key them out. Like, that there's people. We cast this little boy, and he leaves his kitchen set, and he goes into this set, and there was a treadmill piece, and people lifted him up, and we had chutes that he would go down, like
Wow,
green chutes.
that's cool.
I mean, we used the exact colors. We had clouds on a wire, right, that would go by. It was phenomenal. And I had a sampler, like you would have in a hip hop outfit, right?
Okay.
And I would play the actual sounds on set for the actor, for the little boy. He was like 9 years old. It was one of the most fun things I've ever done. But I remember saying to the agencies, like, there is a potential now with the way this whole new internet is working that people are going to say you stole it from the college show. Like, that's getting a few 100,000 hits. Back when a few 100,000 hits
Was huge,
was a
yeah.
lot, right?
Right.
And like, they're now approaching 500,000 hits. They're gaining every day. Someone's going to say, McDonald's took this idea. Not that anybody did. I'm sure they were inspired by. Maybe it was a tip of the hat.
Yeah.
We finished the spot. It's great. Sales skyrocket, like all my commercials. Even Ronzoni. And sure enough,
my movie beam is downloading as we speak.
every comment was, this is like that college thing. I hope they paid those college kids. This is
Oh, wow.
They took all the same. It was the first time I experienced, like, not trolling, but
Hate mail?
hate
Right,
comments
right.
on
Right.
on the internet, on
Right.
YouTube.
Well, yeah, because it's all now it's like, you can see everything at anytime,
Anytime.
everywhere.
And for my older son, Jake, was so into Mario, still is, that we brought some of the props home for him. And he was a teenager when I was like, okay, now it's girl repellent. We have
Like
to get
this
rid
podcast.
Yeah. And he had a big green, like a 5-foot green pipe painted and shaded, and the craftsmen and women were wonderful on that. So that's
cool.
a lot. That's a lot of fun in my world to work with people like they're so detail oriented.
See, nowadays, now you could do a full CGI Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, you see,
You know, I mean, now you could do it like.
But then,
I mean, I'm just
why not
saying-
just play the game?
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like,
well,
But-
you know, it's funny you bring up. There's that really cute film that Wreck-It Ralph, which
right.
takes place inside a video game
And
world,
uses all
and
the
it's
characters.
It's such a great film. It's such a love.
Well, what about the trailer for the Steven Spielberg?
the Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know about
That
that.
looks-
trailer. I don't know. I'm not impressed by the trailer for that.
Well,
I don't know.
to me,
Everybody says
it's interesting.
the book is great.
You know, it's,
No, I hear
it's
the book's
interesting,
great, yeah.
That
but
was
it's
a
like.
book?
Yeah, it's
But the video game world. Look, we all grew up at that time when the video games back in the '80s, when it was like new and fresh, you know, and
Yeah.
you had the Tempest and
Defender.
Pong,
Yeah.
and
But can I just say, Super Mario? Somebody gave me the first Nintendo system, and I'm not a video game guy at all, but they gave me this system, and it had like that and Duck Hunt.
Yes,
you
that was
know?
the original.
Right, the original.
Yeah.
And I started playing Super Mario, and within 24 hours, it became very important to me.
Yeah.
And it scared the living fuck out of me. because there were a couple moments where it was like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm going like, all right, one more game, and I'm gonna mean something
So
to
I didn't
me.
know that about you.
Well,
I
that's-
didn't know you're into them at all. I can
And
see
then-
why you're not into them
And
now.
No, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Like I had to go cold turkey, and I gave the console
That's
away.
self-discipline.
that's
you like
why.
that?
Yeah.
Why you didn't see the movie.
That's the reason. That's it. You're
See,
right.
for
You're
me,
in my head.
no, I liked classic video games, and look, I'm just saying that I was sold on the trailer. Okay,
Fair enough.
Right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
All
Well,
right, I have a trailer here that's going back to like a scary trailer, where they kind of film certain special things for the trailer, and that would be for. And I think we've talked about this before. The trailer for Suspiria. Suspiria has a great trailer, which is
Great
a
trailer?
Well, I think it's pretty. It was scary.
Yeah, it's
It was a
scary.
combination of like a specially filmed
amusing.
thing.
and
Yeah.
the colors in it too.
Right. What it is like it starts out, you see the back of this like girl's head. She's like combing her hair, and you hear this kind of creepy nursery rhymes like roses are red, violets are blue. The iris is the flower that will be the end of you. And then like it turns around, it's a skull. And then they would kind of cut to some quick shots of the movie. But that was really creepy.
Okay.
I saw it on television
All right.
late night. It
wait
was,
a
like,
minute.
Creepy.
Hold on now. No.
That wasn't
I'm
scary?
oh, come on.
I thought it was pretty
So-
creepy.
What,
So-
what is with you?
No, no.
What? There
Come
weren't
on, look.
exploding heads.
No, no.
Show me
No.
some exploding
I will-
heads.
if you-
Electrifying danger.
Yeah.
If you let me explain. So the first thing you see is you see the back of this person's head. It's long hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly a Teamster grip is the hand that's combing
But you
the
don't
hair.
think about that when you first
And
see it.
Wait, you
see
say
this hand-
clearly.
I see
Clearly.
this
Examine
hand
it now.
reach, and I'm
Clearly.
like, why is your dad combing your hair and wearing the same shirt as you?
What are you, Trump?
Yeah.
Topical, political.
Rip from the front page.
Okay, you say it's clearly.
I mean, now if you examine it, sure, you might look at that with that eye. But
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty original.
But what? All that being said, though, I do enjoy it because it's stupid. It's ridiculous.
No,
and it
it's
makes me laugh, and therefore
Right.
I'm entertained.
Matt,
it's also famous for the line, which is true, which is a bad line in the trailer, which is the only thing more terrifying than the last 10 minutes of Suspiria are the first 92, which means that the last
falls apart
10
at the end,
minutes
yeah.
aren't as scary.
No, but
doesn't work.
But look, Matt, are you saying that you were such a sophisticated kid that when you saw that preview, you go, clearly that's some guy, or you were that sophisticated?
All I could say is that the mannequin with the skull and a wig, no, that one, Beyond the Door scared the shit out of me. This was like, oh, wow.
Because you know what I
wish
think?
I had that.
This is what I
It
think.
was like a Barbie, you know those Barbie kits where it's the Barbie
Yeah,
head?
it's the
and you
big
get
Barbie head.
I was like, that's what I want,
This
but the
is-
skull head.
This is what I think. I think you're looking at this through Matt Weinhold 2018 eyes.
That's all
what
I
you're.
can
That's
do.
what you're doing. And you're
past
saying,
is-
I've seen this 100 times.
past is
look
dead
at
to
this.
me,
It's just
Larry.
right. That's
Okay, so do you feel the same way when you see the original Friday the 13th and when Mrs. Voorhees gets beheaded and her hands come up do you notice that the hands are a guy's hairy hands?
It's fast.
Yeah, okay.
It's fast.
Because that's true. It's like it was like a guy. I don't know if it was Savini's
Spoiler
hands
alert.
or it was like it's
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm assuming that
Thanks,
But, like,
Sean.
it's like-
I'm
it's like-
assuming-
Thanks,
it's like
Sean.
somebody her hands. It's a guy's hands.
I also assume that maybe Pamela Voorhees maybe had some man hands. I'm just saying. She did a lot of murders.
You know,
You have a good
That's
point
true.
that much
What?
like hair
yes,
Wait a
yes,
minute.
I have a
Haircuts.
point.
haircuts and fashion, it's not fair to look back and go, what was it? What was I thinking? You have to put yourself in that. Like at the time, that feathered look
Yes.
was good on me.
Or the spandex people
everyone
were
got a
wearing.
wearing. Yeah, spandex.
Remember
was
when?
in.
Remember when spandex was in? When everyone was wearing spandex
No.
and
I
headbands.
remember
trailer
one
has-
person I knew was wearing spandex.
There are some girls that I knew on Sunset Boulevard, and they rocked it, and I loved it, and it was a moment in time. A time capsule.
I remember when I bought some sort of spandexy sweatpants in Manhattan at a street bazaar.
Did you think they were going to be spandexy?
What? No, but I thought those are cool.
Yeah, yeah, they were cool.
And they
Jordan.
were black. They had a stripe. It was
Yeah.
kind of sporty, spicy.
Yeah, sporty.
And I say to the street vendor, I go, "Are these men's?" And he goes, "They're unisex." Yeah, they're unisex. And I bought them. They
Yeah.
felt so good.
Yeah, you see.
You still
see,
have 'em?
No,
Still have 'em.
see, Jordan, see, some
Tonight's
people,
episode,
no, I'm
spandex.
just saying some people are like, oh, spandex. Oh, I never wore spandex. I don't want to look at spandex. Because they weren't like the cool crowd. Cool kids at that time were wearing spandex.
Okay.
And headbands.
Jordan?
That was,
I started riding a bicycle just so I could wear more spandex later.
okay, I'm just
And shave
saying.
my
I so want to believe that. I want that world to exist.
I think we can all agree one of the most terrifying trailers.
Megaforce.
The original Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. that's a good one.
trailer.
That's a good one.
The trailer.
Because that movie at that time they wouldn't even give it an R rating.
That's right.
Like, what the hell is
Right,
that?
That's
and it was
a great
done
one.
like it was like a news like
Yeah.
it was done like it was
Yes.
really
Yeah.
happening. You know?
And the voice, Adolf Caesar did the narration, and he was an actor. He was nominated for an Oscar for A Soldier Story, and he had done all these blaxploitation trailers.
well, yeah, he has that very distinctive voice,
Yeah.
like
And he-
George Romero.
Yeah.
first brought us Night of the Living Dead.
He did the Blackula trailer.
yeah,
and all these other.
Dracula's Soul. Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just puts you back right in that
Oh,
period.
totally. There's so many like voiceover actors. Now, of course, we have to talk about the original Night of the Living Dead trailer, which has I don't know who that guy was, but he had that classic line was like, "A night of total terror."
But see, now both of those are great trailers. The original Night of the Living Dead, I would say that trailer is almost as scary as the movie itself.
Yeah, that trailer is
And it's a
great.
great trailer because it does show you a lot of shots from the film.
Yeah.
But all you want to do when you're done watching that trailer is go, I just want to see more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
or
totally.
I'm terrified to see more of this.
right, right.
And what's great about the Dawn of the Dead one is that you got that great voiceover, you got the crawl, you've got the Dawn of the Dead,
Graphic.
the graphic of the head, the
Yeah.
zombie
Right,
head,
yeah.
and then as soon as that narration is done, then it just explodes
Yeah.
into imagery,
Right, right.
and violence, and you're just like, holy fuck, this is a whole new world. I thought I was scared with Night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This
Right,
is
right.
a whole new playing field.
I will tell you what's equally as impressive. First of all, this has been a blast for me. And you have a notepad. I mean, the listeners know you have notes.
We got some notes.
You got
yeah.
some.
Yeah,
You got a computer.
we do our research.
This is a prepared show.
Yes.
Right. It's produced, and that's what I appreciate. And hope the listener knows the work that goes in. But this special one right here, to my right, he just whipped that shit out. Right. There's no notes. There's no nothing. He's like, and the voiceover guy was nominated for Academy Award. Like the fact that you brought that to the show
Thank
is
you,
impressive.
Jordan. I
sir.
appreciate that.
Impressive.
Yeah, you should ask him about some documentaries that he's seeing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, either that or why don't you ask him about Star Trek? Yeah, why don't we talk about that?
Speaking of the kind of father I am, I took my kid to see Grizzly Man when he was like 12.
Grizzly
wow.
Man?
Grizzly
Wow,
Man, the
the
Werner
doc-
Herzog,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
where the guy gets eaten by the bear.
Wow,
Oh.
jeez.
I actually, on the theme of trailers and documentaries, I almost lost a friend over cutting a trailer. Wonderful guy, comedian Tom Rhodes. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Tom Rhodes. He travels internationally doing shows in Hong Kong,
All over the place,
Australia,
yeah.
Brussels,
Yeah.
even England, London, wherever that
Yeah,
is.
he lived in Amsterdam
And
for
he
a while,
lived in
right?
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
His wife, I think, is from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful woman. And known him for years. So he's in this movie, this documentary, I Am Road Comic, where I talked to people doing stuff on the road. And he was so nice. We hung out. We did a great interview. And then after the trailer was out, it was a long time. I never heard from him. And we were talking about projects, and I sent him a copy. I go, hey, what's... He goes, well, I mean, you kind of made me look like an asshole in the movie. I was the butt of the joke. I go, what do you mean? Well, Nikki Glazer says, when I think of road comics, I just think of some guy who lives out of a suitcase and is sad. And then it cuts to Tom going, I've had my stuff in storage for years. I travel around. So he thought it was me putting two sentences together, like we talked about earlier, to make one sentence, when to me it was just a blitzkrieg of sound bites, the most interesting sound bites from comedians people would recognize. Right. And I wrote him, I said, I'm so sorry. That was not, like, I didn't even see it through that prism until now. And that's pretty funny.
You describing that to me, it sounds like you were just having two different attitudes about what a road comic is, and just presenting both of them.
This is the gamut of opinion of road comics.
Right.
And like Jim Norton in the same trailer says, everybody thinks road comics are hacks. They're fucking great. Like, if you can't work the road, you're not a real comic.
Right.
So the entire context of the trailer was to convey the filmmaker, me, love of road comics. But you never knew how someone's going to look at the glass from a different angle. And I apologize. I mean, I'm Tom, if you're listening, because I think he listens.
He does.
I mean, I was genuinely sorry.
Yeah, that's one of those.
All over a trailer. See? Thematic.
Yep.
Tied it in.
Yep. And you want to know something? I'm going to blow you away. Or actually, I'm going to blow Matt away.
Here we go.
I'm pretty sure. There are trailers out there that I felt that didn't do the film justice. We had mentioned The Exorcist, giving you just a bit more, more than there's a little bit of Reagan. There is a trailer that I remember seeing that I did not think was a good trailer. Great film, but I think that the trailer fell short. Whether or not that had anything to do with the lack of success for this film.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Dunkirk.
No, this is a film from
classic.
a while ago.
Okay, sorry.
It's from 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. Now, before anyone jumps on me, I just want to say, if you look at the original trailer, here's the thing that bugged me about it. And I knew about The Thing being filmed. And I was excited about it. I knew that there were going to be effects. But the actual trailer, it starts out, it takes place in outer space. And the narrator says, 100,000 years ago, it came to our galaxy. And you see the spaceship fly to Earth. The next thing you see is you see the Arctic place, and then you just see clips of the guys. And you never see anything that suggests the thing. What is the thing? And there's a famous the famous scene where the one guy, he's out in the snow and he opens his mouth and you see his hands.
Right.
In the original trailer, they get a shot of him down opening his mouth and you don't see the hands. And you could have done stuff where you showed just a little bit of a tentacle or something. In the original trailer, you see nothing. And I thought there was nothing in there to suggest there's something really trippy in here.
Right. Maybe they were trying, I guess, trying to stay restrained.
Maybe that's the case. That's the case.
Did they think, do you think maybe that they thought at that point that maybe they had a problem film because of E.T. and everything else? Where
it's possible.
This is really weird, Matt. So I remembered this when I saw the preview back in 82. And I remember having an issue with it, but I knew I was going to see the film. And, of course, I saw the film, and I'm blown away. I saw it opening weekend. And I remember thinking the film did not do well at all. It cost something like $15 million to make, only made $1 million that weekend. It was Universal considered it a bomb. Right. Of course, it's turned into a cult classic. But if you go on YouTube and type in original John Carpenter's The Thing, you'll see that. But also there's another one that says modern trailer of The Thing, where someone took the pieces of it and added just a couple pieces of where. Do you remember when they're
from the movie?
Yeah. Remember, there's the scene where they're attacking, the dogs are being attacked, and there's a shot from The Thing's point of view, and you see kind of like tentacles of them go up into the air. And then there's another shot where you see the guy and he's holding up his hands. Just a couple of those gave like The Exorcist, showing a little bit of Reagan. the modern one gave us just a little bit more of the thing to give us a little more of the thing. This is totally creepy.
That might have helped it, I think.
Yeah.
To just give someone a little bit of something to go on. To like, okay, it's not E.T., it's not a happy alien, but, it's a horror movie. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. But then there's another trailer I'm sorry to jump on this, but there because I saw these trailers at the same time. And this trailer I thought was like a rated R trailer.
Well, there's like the red band trailers when you would go, you would be seeing a rated R movie,
Yeah.
so they could show rated R
rest of
trailers.
them,
You
yeah.
could see tits and you could see
well,
gore.
That's relatively
Good times.
new,
And
though, isn't
so
it?
I went
The
to
last
this,
10 years? Or
Yeah,
20 years?
something
yeah, I think so.
These films kind of came around, I think, around the same time. But it was
Thing 1 and Thing 2?
No. I'm talking about in 1983. Because the preview that I saw came out in 82. It took a while for this film to come out, and that was Evil Dead. The preview for Evil Dead shows a lot of stuff
Right.
that doesn't give you everything in the movie, but you actually see a pencil going into the ankle.
Right.
You see the
It's
girl
intense,
being
yeah.
possessed, and it's fast. And I remember seeing this going, oh my gosh, and it horrified me so much. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I can't wait for this film. I can't wait for this
Right,
one.
right.
But that was Sam Raimi, fast-paced, and it actually starts, it's black, and you hear the voice saying, I have seen the dark shadows moving in the woods. I have no doubt that whatever I resurrected from this book is sure to come calling for me. And then the action starts.
Right.
And I remember getting goosebumps just watching it. But going back to The Thing, I felt The Thing didn't give me anything.
Yeah, I think they
It
were.
did have a great tagline, though.
It did.
Yeah, no, it's a great tagline.
Man is the
but
warmest place to hide.
I have a feeling they were kind of just pulling their punches, like they were afraid of
They
it.
may have
I think
been,
by that,
yeah.
by the time that they were advertising it, I don't think anyone believed in it and,
Yeah.
and didn't know how to sell this thing, especially in the time of Happy Nice Aliens.
Yeah,
Right,
It's
right.
true.
Didn't
And
know
don't
what
get
to
me
do.
wrong. The Thing is like one of my
Oh, no, it's the
top
greatest,
10
yeah.
films. I think John
one of my
Carpenter-
favorites of all time.
It-
yeah.
it- It's so great.
And that movie, there's an issue of, I think it's Cinefantastique magazine,
Mm-hmm.
where they just show the melted half face
right.
that's in the movie The Thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's on the cover.
Yes.
And I remember just seeing that and going, I want to see this.
Yes.
Right, right.
That
Yes.
was all it took for me.
Yes. And there.
And I think a lot of genre fans would have had the same reaction
It was
had they been given a little bit more.
there was a
Right.
shot of the makeup artist Rob Bottin on the front of cover,
That's
and I
right.
think the Norris spider creature was on right behind him, and then
Yes.
the melted face.
And that was it. That's all I needed.
all you needed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying for the preview you need to see
show
the
all
spider.
that. Yeah.
No,
Right. Just
there,
hints
if
and
you look at the
flashes.
modern trailer, just a couple flashes of something that was silhouette or something that made you feel like it's something more than human.
Even if they ended the trailer with a shot of maybe the split face, because in the movie that split face is not even really an action moment.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's stagnant.
It's the
and they could have had
the aftermath.
They could have had the line, "That's not real. That's imitation," or something. Just something like that.
Starring Split Face. That would have been good. They said that, right?
Introducing
And introducing an evil like no other.
Hollywood's latest ingenue.
Split Face.
Well, here's a trailer that too. I think we've talked about this one before, which is a trailer that I think purposely same kind of thing. Where like they knew they had maybe a dog on their hands, so
Yeah.
they
Pulled
did
their
the
punches.
trailer in a way where like you don't really see anything. That is the beloved Night of the Lepus. But watch
You
the
know this
trailer.
movie?
I do not
It's
know. this
giant
movie.
bunnies.
Night
So it
of
comes
the
up a lot on
Lepus.
this show.
Yes.
Oh
The
my
Lepus?
God.
But watch the
Night of the
trailer.
Lepus.
Yes.
They show like a little thing.
It's not even a word.
No.
Lepus.
No.
Lepus is
Latin or
rabbit.
something, or-
Sean is absolutely right because the cast they have.
Yeah, Janet Leigh, Stuart Whitman, and they show like
Some names.
What
Yeah.
is the horror? And
DeForest
they,
Kelly.
They show like they show like close freeze frame of an eye.
Yeah, close up of the eye.
They show like something coming out of the ground, like a little bit of a snout, but then they cut away.
Yeah.
And they show people screaming, and
Yeah.
they show people getting mauled real quick.
Yeah.
But you don't see. There's nothing about.
You'll
about
see
rabbits.
occasionally a close-up eye, and
Yeah.
then you'll see like two like blue things that I guess are supposed to be eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all you see because they knew.
And the poster was like that too.
Yeah.
They didn't show anything.
And
So when you see this movie,
No,
I'm gonna see it.
You
I'm
know,
gonna see it.
Jordan,
Yeah, no, you
no,
need to see it.
Jordan,
You
no,
need to see it.
Jordan, just watch the trailer.
No.
You don't need to see. No,
you need to see what they
you
did
do.
because
It's
what's
great.
great about it is that when the bunnies finally attack, they are bunnies.
Yeah.
It's done very straight. It's been done very seriously.
I've seen this now.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
pretty funny.
they're full on rabbits
I think I know
bouncing around a
And
matchbox.
this was
car
MGM
city.
release.
Yeah.
you
Was
know,
this
so
around
they,
the time
like,
of Worms?
Yes.
It's
Squirm.
Squirm.
worm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But Sean's absolutely right, and I think what would have sold me on it to make me go. First of all, I saw the preview on television,
Right.
So it was different for me. But if I got a tidbit of an evil rabbit with fangs, just a quick shot, that would have done it. But it didn't throw me over to make me go, oh, I gotta see this.
And then you see like these rabbits with like blood smeared on them, and the rabbits are like trying to lick the blood off themselves.
It's a cast. I mean, the cast is like nothing to like frown about. It's
You
like
have to see it.
you
You have
have
to see
some
it. Yeah, it's pretty
named
amazing.
people in here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
But Night
kind of
of Olympus,
unbelievable that this thing got made,
Yes.
got greenlit,
Was
released.
And you know what I think? I think it was one of those things where they said, "Oh, Janet, I tell you, the Lepus creatures are going to be crazy. I mean, they're going to be horrifying.
Yeah,
Are you
absolutely.
sure? We're not going to see like you guys aren't going to
Oh, no,
film
they're
Live
gonna be
Bunny.
great.
Oh no, we're going to have really horrific.
It could have gone the other way. It could have gone because yes, that could have been the pitch, but it could have been no. They're just bunnies. That's what's terrifying.
You know what?
Because then it could be any bunny.
Like the bunny in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, you're gonna be at the petting zoo, and you're gonna have flashbacks about this movie.
But you see, the funny thing is, when you look at the bunnies, you don't go. You go. Oh,
Yeah.
You don't go. Oh my gosh, that's horrifying.
The best way to defeat these giant bunnies is to hug them.
And the Monty
Hug and love
Python,
them.
Monty Python, the Holy Grail. I'm more terrified of that buddy. He
Yeah, that's-
leaps.
that
I mean,
was-
and bites
big
teeth. Yes, and bites the heads off people. I mean, that was horrifying.
It's like putting Paddington in a horror movie.
Oh, I like that idea.
It's kind of good, right?
Yeah. Because that's really what you would expect if a bear comes to life. He's out for blood, right? Did you ever see the movie Grizzly? Grizzly is
Grizzly. That's around the
70s.
70s.
70s, yes, I remember
He's
that
making
one.
Jaws with a bear.
Jaws. I mean, it's like B
exactly.
for B. Jaws with a bear. But there's a great scene in that where the bear rips off a baby's arm. and you're watching the movie and you're kind of like, oh, this is Jaws and it's bear, and then you're like, holy fuck! And it never tops that, of course.
But that's not in the trailer, though.
It should be though.
yeah.
It should be.
I'm trying to.
It should be just talk about the 6-second commercial.
Oh, yeah.
It should be baby's arm ripped off.
The movie should have been called
Grizzly.
The movie should have been called Grizzly Rips Off a Baby's Arm.
Have
The name of the movie.
Have you heard of Range 15?
I do not know this one.
Oh, Google, and I'll tell you.
No, I want to know now.
This came out. I think last year or the year before.
Okay.
It's first-time filmmakers. They're all veterans, U.S. veterans, and it's a post-apocalyptic zombie movie. And I think William Shatner's in it for a second.
Shatner.
And
William Shatner, Sean Astin,
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin,
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo's in it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
And
not a
they
bad
did
cast.
they did a Kickstarter where other veterans supported the veterans. And I haven't seen the full movie, but I've seen the documentary of the making of called "This Is Not a War Story." And I went to a premiere where there are all these vets, and they're great. I mean, they're great guys, and they had so much fun doing it. The cool thing is, like this woman, I think she was in the Army, lost both her arms. This is going to sound weird the way I'm saying it. It's not cool that she lost her arms.
No.
She lost her arms in Iraq.
Right.
Now she's back home. They call her up to be in the movie to play a girl whose arms get blown off in the movie. Okay. And it's hilarious. And when guys get their legs blown off, they're crawling on the ground like, ah! And people are dying, and there's guts, and heads get knocked off. And in the documentary, This Is Not a War Story, the documentarian is on set the whole movie. And all the trials and tribulations of making an independent film. The cops shut them down, shake them down for money for their location. They can't.
Where was it shot?
It was shot in around in Southern California.
really? Okay.
This sounds like a case of the making of the movie would probably be more interesting than the actual
It
movie.
would for film buffs, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
But it looks like such a good time,
I want to see this.
and the
That's
people that
interesting.
made it seem like such great men and women,
Yeah.
right? And when he interviewed the woman without the arm, she goes, "Some people gave me shit for it. Like I'm playing." She goes, I'm the one doing it. I think it's funny. Right. It's a really sick sense of humor.
Well, that's funny because going back to The Thing, when the guy's stomach opens up and
oh, right. Yeah.
Richard Dicer gets his arms cut off by the stomach mouth. There's a shot where like he flails back and is screaming, and you see the stumps going. That's an amputee with the Richard Dysart face mask on.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
It's really quick. Yeah, that's why I had read the effect for that second. That you got somebody with so somebody to do that.
Well, in Silent Running, the droids in Silent Running,
Right.
Instead of getting like a chimp to get inside these tiny costumes, they got people that had no legs.
They were walking
just
on
walked
their
on their
arms.
Oh, yeah.
And
For E.T. as well, I think, right?
Is that right? I don't know that.
I don't know about that one.
I made
Maybe.
that
Yeah,
up.
that
that
right?
was one of them.
That was one
of them.
Was it?
One of them. Yes.
Yeah. Just because you've been in some horrible accident doesn't mean that you don't still have a sense of fun,
Humor,
and
dignity.
humor, dignity.
yeah,
Treated
and-
with dignity.
Yeah, and that you aren't a film buff. How
Right.
much fun would that be to be a monster in any movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be
my gosh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be the greatest
One
time
of
of
the,
my life.
one of the promotions at Comic-Con a few years ago was a promotion for the Robert Rodriguez Planet Terror. And in that movie, Rose McGowan plays a character who takes off her prosthetic leg and puts on a machine gun.
Oh, yeah, right.
They had a model at Comic-Con who had a prosthetic machine gun at the bottom of her leg.
I didn't see that.
Whoa.
Wow.
Commitment.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember,
I say hot. I mean,
Well, yeah.
works for me.
We had talked about the little person playing with the Manitou. Remember that was that
right.
Matt didn't like.
I don't have anything against the little person. I'm just saying that.
I work quite a bit with little people in those Eggo waffle commercials.
Can we segue into the commercials because I want to hear about your waffle commercials?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's anything I love, it's when you
waffles.
Because this does hit our genre.
It does.
Horror
Right?
and science fiction. A walking waffle man.
Oh my gosh, that
Okay,
is so great.
So, I mean, I hope your listeners find it interesting because I realize the Tom Rhodes thing should be cut out. But
No.
But if they, I will tell you because it's near and dear to my heart. The ad agency, which was Leo Burnett and Peter Lohmeyer and T.S. Eliot, that's his real name. That was the creative team that came up with let's put a guy in a suit.
Okay, a guy. And this
in a
is for
suit.
Eggo
Waffles.
That's a big client.
Huge client.
I love waffles.
Lego my Eggo.
Yeah, I know it.
We shot. I shot kids.
Stranger Things.
That's right. Stranger
Yeah.
Things.
It's coming back.
That's right. My daughter dressed up as 11 for Halloween, and I had to get a box of Eggos so she could walk around with that. So we're fans.
Okay, good. It was their idea. They went to the legendary Stan Winston.
Okay.
Made the suit.
Wow.
Another director did.
I'm sorry. When was this though? Stan Winston. Was this?
It's now called Legacy Effects.
Okay.
Because Stan Winston's passed away.
Right,
But
right.
He was a legend.
Absolutely, yes.
So another director did a couple of them before I did with oversized props. Like he did one with a 12-foot waffle iron, and the waffle man stumbles upon it and gets flattened into four other little people would be in miniature waffle suits.
Okay.
And they wear red leggings, red Converse, and red gloves, spandex legs, up red arms, spandex gloves.
Okay.
Making a comeback.
No face. That was a huge thing that even after those first two that I didn't do, we talked like some people think we should see his face, but no, there's no face.
Right.
The magic trick is there used to be a camera so the actor could see.
Okay.
Yes.
And when I did the Bull and the Bear, there was a camera for the actors. The Stan Legacy had come up with these glasses with you could see almost like pre-Google Glass.
Okay.
Right.
But they don't see with a camera out in front of them. You know what they see?
What?
The feed from the movie camera.
No.
And it takes
so they
about
can see their performance.
It takes about 4 minutes for them to acclimate, and they do really well. So instead of seeing what's in front of you, you see if the camera's on the side, you're seeing yourself walk towards a giant fork or a plate.
Okay.
Okay, so the rules were really weird. You know, he was on a white cyclorama set. There was an 8-foot fork, which my ex-wife got in the divorce. I swear to God. Like,
No.
the ad agency in Kellogg's gave me the fork, and years later we got divorced, and she's like, she kept the fork.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did you get the knife?
She could stab you
No, there
with
was
it
no
again.
knife.
No, the napkin.
Okay, so Waffle Man.
So Waffle Man and Christopher Swift is the actor that he wore this suit. It's probably about 55, 60 pounds of foam. And he had little suspenders that helped keep it up. And he would wear gym shorts over the spandex because, you know, there's be appropriate. But he would take it off. And they tried fans inside, and he just said, let's just do the work.
Yeah.
And the way, like a good puppeteer, the way he would bring that waffle to life was like no other. And I was telling you off air how one time he was away on another movie and we used a substitute. The guy was great, but it just wasn't the same. And it sounds so silly to say, but the way one man owned that instrument.
Waffle soup.
Yeah.
Waffle soup.
He's the Hiro Nakajima of waffles.
If you go on YouTube, if you go on YouTube and put in like old Eggo commercials, there's tons of him running into like a Lego wall that rises out of the floor. He hits it, spins around on one toe, falls, and he's transformed into Lego Eggo waffles for promotion. Yes. One time we had him dive off a high dive into cereal. So we shot a lot of miniatures. Like we'd make.
Takes me back to my wedding night.
We made a 20-foot toaster, and then we had a replica toaster that was about 12 inches, so that we could do dolly moves and push-ins.
Sure.
And like one of it was weird that the storyboard came in that the toaster would go down on its side and suck him into it, go upright, and spit out 4 mini waffles.
Okay.
Which was so weird because a toaster doesn't have a vacuum-like quality.
It does not.
A toaster doesn't sort of cantilever over on its side and then go back up.
It doesn't have knives in it, too, to split a waffle into 4 pieces.
Yes, and my pitch was, why don't we have 2 little waffles come out of the front and 2 come out of the back so it would go ching like a toaster.
I like it.
And the lawyer said, well, no. They have to be conjoined quad of little waffle people because we don't want someone to break apart the product and put it in the 2 slots and then reach in with their hands and get burnt.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what the lawyer's there for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lawyers
And he's
didn't-
right.
They didn't care
That's
that
how stupid people are.
yeah, someone had done that.
Yes, right.
The first one I remember was so special. It was a box. The Eggo Man's walking. It's very subversive because he was always in peril. Someone was trying to trick him into being eaten or on a plate.
Yeah.
Or a fork would chase him and try to
He
stab
was the
him.
Mr. Bill of waffle.
Well, but look, he's
Very much
he's a
Mr. Bill.
delicious Eggo waffle,
He's
which
a
are
treat.
so yummy when you toast them properly and put the butter on them and syrup.
Would we be able to eat waffles the way we do if we knew they had these feelings
Or arms and legs.
and hopes and dreams?
Do you know what's funny? I had an Eggo waffle this morning, by the way.
Did it,
I-
did it scream when you bite into it?
The best,
no.
my favorite one. So the big box fell, and I practiced in the backyard with forced perspective, like you see in a lot of monster movies.
Okay.
And I took a real box of waffles, and I had my son. My sons have been Jake and Ben, they've been so good to me. They'll act out in anything. To this day, if I call them, like, can you come over? I got to do a test. You got to step on a nail. Like, they'll come over and do it. So I had my son, and I dropped it in front of the camera, and it worked. And the 2 gentlemen from the agency that I mentioned, they're like, where's the fun? The fun isn't in the digital trickery or the fun is in these big props. Like it's intrinsic to the gestalt of the commercial.
Yeah.
So we built a 20-foot wide, 12-foot tall, 8-foot deep, whatever. It was exactly proportionate to a box of Eggos. Down to the tab would open up.
Yeah.
And we dropped it on the actor. So we had to design the back so it wouldn't crush the man in the suit if he was
Right.
turned wrong.
Yeah.
And we did it all in camera. But the favorite one was, it was so fun to orchestrate because there's not really a lot of edits. The Waffle Man's on the stage and he's walking around like, is someone fucking with me? And you hear dun 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 like Jaws, or Grizzly,
Yeah.
and he's like, is that fork around? and sure enough, the fork comes out of the sky, and we would have this stainless steel piece of art, this fork, and a guy would be on it to push it up and down, so it would kind of undulate.
Sure.
And he was on a wire on a track, and so we could get it all in the shot, and you felt the spatial quality and everything.
Yeah.
Then the plate, which was like a gingham design around a big white plate. We made a 9-foot fiberglass plate.
Does your current wife have dibs on
She
that?
doesn't know. They never gave me the plate. Current wife hates all the props.
Okay.
She actually is so cool. She's like, look, you did the Mario coming home and the fork and all that with your other marriage. We're done with the props.
Okay.
As he's being chased and looking back, and this is where the actor was so crucial in that suit, because he doesn't have a face. So he's running, and then he kind of twists his body to look back at the fork, thus stumbling on the incoming 9-foot plate, and goes, and does a face plant. Right?
Yeah.
But he had to, not a face plant, actually, I'm wrong. He turned back so that he could twist and fall on his back. Then a giant pat of butter that's like a 2-foot square made of shaving cream and food coloring. No. Yeah. We dropped that splat on the Eggo man. And his little arms are going like this, and his little legs are kicking. Then the syrup spills on him, and then a giant strawberry that hits and bounces off.
No.
Then you cut to a kid with the same setup in real life.
Right.
So the puzzle was how to get the syrup. We could cheat the shaving cream. We could make a prop. You know, Stan Winston, they can make a strawberry.
Sure.
It was a big
I'll say.
4-foot strawberry. How do we get the syrup?
Yeah.
And how do you do take after take of syrup?
Exactly.
Let me see.
No. I want to know.
Well, he was
corn,
going to get...
cornstarch and gasoline.
Gasoline. Really? Gasoline?
Gasoline would not work.
Well, oh well.
What if someone had a match or someone was smoking a cigarette?
It'd be the greatest commercial ever.
No, Waffle Man would go up in flames.
So we'd put him out.
Here's the answer. We made a miniature waffle. We couldn't use a real one because the suit is wider than a real waffle. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
So we made a miniature waffle
Okay.
that was proportionate to a real plate
Okay.
as the Eggo Man was to the 9-foot plate.
Okay.
And we put little arms that from
like a little
underneath
miniature.
a miniature, we could wiggle the arms. And the arms would go like this because they're red. And
Yeah. I'm with you.
And then we poured the real syrup on top of that. And this is why I earned the big bucks. And the fact that people can make shit is astounding to me. Costumes,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
anything with latex and space age polymers.
Go to Japan, all the
Sure.
the food,
all the,
right?
all the
Yeah.
Ultraman costumes.
Yeah.
We made like a skirt of plastic syrup that had drizzles and everything, and we put
right.
that in a layer around him, only on the camera side.
Right.
So that in real life, there was real syrup there. So in like 3 frames, as the real syrup is going on the miniature, the skirt then wipes onto the guy. So his feet are real.
Yeah.
His thing is a real big costume. The syrup is an outer layer on a miniature. And then as soon as the syrup's done, you're completely live with the guy in the suit.
Yeah.
And the strawberry hits. It was like a puzzle.
So this did win an award, right?
Oh, it was a very, very. It's like in the breakfast category, we swept it.
Right, of course. Yeah, because that's like the Titanic. Of
George,
fucking-
that is just awesome.
I'm so glad you people are excited about
but
it. And I love it.
Can I
love
see?
it.
Can I see this on YouTube though?
Yeah. There's a lot on YouTube, and in fact, a guy just with Facebook, and you're familiar with the social medias. A couple
I'm
people.
sorry, what?
Social medias. Every couple of months, I would say, like an errant fan of these spots will find me and go, "Hey, I heard you did these," and I send them the links or tell them what to Google. Can I tell you one more?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
This one is the bit was like I get a piece of paper
Okay.
and it says that the Eggo Man is scared and he's walking on set like, who's gonna fuck with me today?
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So he's like going out sideways and he's looking around, and again the actor bringing it to life with like looking back and forth, and he hears something. So he scurries behind a tree, and it's a theatrical flat of a tree.
Sure.
And like a Hard Day's Night, he vanishes behind it.
Okay.
Right? The tree is thinner than his suit
Sure.
is
Right.
wide.
Got it.
Right.
So he's behind it, and he pokes out the other side, and he's chocolate on that side.
And he's like, what? So he goes back to the other side, and on that side, he's vanilla or whatever his original flavor was. Then he goes back on the chocolate side, and he's all chocolate at that point. And he looks around like, and right as he lets his guard down, a barrage of chocolate chip morsels attack him and fly, and it knocks him back a few steps, and chocolate chips have stuck to his
waffle body.
And he runs behind the tree, and the tree then falls down, exposing he is a half and half chocolate chip waffle.
Wow.
Okay. The most important question here is there is a chocolate chip chocolatey waffle?
And I would go home after every shoot with cartons.
Oh my gosh.
Because one imperfection meant we could not shoot that for the end breakfast shot. The breakfast shots are like
Gotta be perfect,
little
yeah.
perfect tableaus.
Yeah.
Do you always have like a special food person there, or
Always.
some
Oh,
from
yeah,
EGGO?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
some-
yeah.
is
Yeah,
there
that's
some
their
from
career,
EGGO
right?
go,
Like, yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
you can't use that waffle. What's wrong with it? A chip that's missing there or something.
These commercials, structurally,
Yes.
they're horror movies.
This is a horror movie.
They're horror movies. They're like imagine if like Damien in The Omen had it out for waffles. Because like he does the thing like he would cause Satan, whoever was controlling the shit that would happen in an Omen movie.
Right.
Shards of glass would come out of a window.
Sure.
And decapitate someone. It's this poor waffle who is
That
just
was-
constantly in fear of his life.
Being eaten.
It's kind of like the little hot dog guy. Isn't there a little hot dog
Wiener-
guy?
Wiener Schnitzel guy.
has the scared hot dog who's running away. He's running away because people want to eat him.
Yeah. Well, and then the M&Ms, we were discussing that a little bit too. The M&Ms are like it goes back and forth whether people want to hang out with them or sleep with them or because there's the sexy M&M who's sort of hot.
She's
What do I
green.
do with you? I don't.
Wait, there's a blue one too. Is there's one that's green, one that's blue?
Yellow, I thought?
No. The yellow one's a dude.
Yeah,
No, right.
all I remember is the female one for
Okay.
obvious reasons.
Right.
Okay.
And isn't at one point she takes off her shell?
Oh,
and,
she takes off her shell.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Weird.
that's.
The question is, how do you get the morsels to stick to the waffle man's body?
How do you do
I was
that?
actually wondering that.
And this was one that they had shot and had to shelve. This was one of the two I didn't do in the beginning.
Oh wow.
And I thought about like, okay, what if the morsels, and the morsels are like probably 12 to 14 inch chocolate chips.
So the size of
the size of relevant to how a chocolate chip would be on a real waffle.
Okay.
Right. Right. Like you just
I got it.
scale it up.
Yeah.
And they said, one guy tried. We talked about magnets. People talked about Velcro.
Magnets?
I know. Super magnets. Rare earth super magnets. What about so the way they did it before, they had little if you put a straw a hole through the fake morsel and slid it on a wire, but then it would go.
Yeah, like dip and yeah.
It would dip. They said, that failed, and we had spent money. We ended up trashing it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll think of something. So I'm at home, and this was the time I saw another commercial for the Wonder Bra. And the Wonder Bra for the listener was a bra that it had like a little pump in it, and you'd wear the bra, and I don't judge.
I'm in my 50s, so I wear one now.
I'm a B cup, so
I now have pecs.
I could use a help. So you would pump it up on the side, and it would lift a little bit. So I'm like, okay, self-inflating chocolate chip morsels. Perhaps they're Mylar. And the Stan Winston people they were like, I said, I think I got it. Self-deploying morsels. Strategically placed in the suit all the while.
So like a knife thrower, when you throw at a woman in the thing, they're actually popping up.
They're popping out.
Yeah, he's pretending to throw the knife.
So when the EGGO man runs out and hides behind the tree, there's 30 feet of air hose going up his waffle ass.
Sure.
They can paint that out really easily. So he does all his
like
acting.
a real ass.
Someone's giving him slack with the air hose, And then we had grips and air cannons, and one grip was like a baseball pitcher, so he was really accurate. We had air cannons, and we would just throw all these morsels at him. And during the barrage of morsels bouncing off of him, the strategically placed little tubes would deploy and poof. Like if you watch in slow motion, it would be bap, bap, poof, poof, bap, 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 poof.
It's like a chocolate chip squib.
Yeah.
Exactly. That would have made this story a fraction of how long it takes. and what was great is that my friend at the agency, who's the art director, could actually plot out the perfect waffle of chocolate chips. Like there was nothing to chance. And the actor adapted to all this extra weight and stuff like that and performed, and the post people clean it up.
That's great.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
This is where I thought you were going with this, and tell me why this wouldn't have worked.
Okay.
And I'm serious.
Chocolate chip squib is
Right.
going to have what I'm going to call the story from now on.
Okay.
That was like 20 minutes.
I just want the book. I want to be in the acknowledgments. That's all. That's all I ask. But so what if you had a sticky stuff on the waffle, and then you threw foam rubber things, and they would just stick to a tacky substance on the outside of the waffle, which I'm sure you thought of.
Yes. Here's why that doesn't work.
Okay.
The foam that the suit is made of is still somewhat porous.
Okay.
Right? So even the best 3M adhesive would not.
It would just soak
It
in.
would soak in. It would stain the suit.
Okay.
Dirt would collect.
It would
Got it.
be too shiny or something. Yeah.
Correct. And the morsel would have to hit at a certain way. Like a morsel has a flat bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
And
okay.
it doesn't spiral like a football.
Got it.
Right.
If you know your chocolate chips, Matt, you
I thought I did. But it's nice to get to a place in life where the things that you thought you knew are wrong.
Well, we thought pull it off and reverse the film.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because then the actor has to
No?
do it backwards.
Yeah,
He has
yeah,
to,
you can tell.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
even if you
Yeah.
just do a close up of that, that would be cheating too.
Yeah.
True.
Now, these waffle commercials, these are so great. I love to hear about when people are in big costumes or something like that. How much does something like that cost to do a commercial like that? How much are we talking
For the costume?
Yeah, no, for that commercial.
For the whole commercial?
Yeah.
I'm but a simple director. Like I really, I have a company and I think I don't really pay a lot of attention to that stuff. But I mean, it's a couple $100,000 a day.
Right,
And you
right.
amortize the suit. Like the bear and it's ditto trade is the thing with the bear and
Yeah.
the bull talking in an office with the actors walking and they're wearing the masks and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, those suits alone are close to six figures.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
You know,
Right.
and then we store it for the client, or the client takes it home, or
But the brilliant thing is this is a commercial that is shown many, many, many times, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a very famous commercial that I think falls into our category of science fiction. That is like one of the most famous commercials ever made that I remember seeing when it first appeared on television. It only appeared once.
Oh my goodness!
This is from 1984 from Apple Computer. This is the famous 1984 commercial.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. And I don't know if you guys...
That only aired once.
Only once. And the funny thing
what
is...
was the commercial?
Well, okay, but, I see. Maybe
It's called 1984.
Now, maybe I'm the only one that watches the Super Bowl. Perhaps,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay. So
Look at me.
This is 1984. And it was during the Super Bowl. It was like at halftime.
Oh, yes,
And this
the
was
Big Brother.
over a one. It was like 90 seconds, and it's really, really amazing. And you can Google Apple Computer commercial 1984, and it starts out. It was during the halftime of Super Bowl, directed by Ridley Scott. It shows a classic 1984 environment, kind of a dystopian future world. Big Brother shows all these guys, with bald heads, very much like Metropolis,
Right.
walking down like this long tube. Yes, exactly. And it cuts to a bunch of guys sitting in these chairs, looking up at a giant screen, and you see the guy with glasses saying, "We will overcome this."
Yeah,
We will.
I do remember
and
this.
And then
Yeah,
throughout
yeah.
it, you see this woman, this blonde-haired woman wearing these bright red shorts and a white T-shirt running, and you can see she's being chased by, looks like military police, cutting back and forth to the guys who, all these rows of people looking up at this giant TV screen, and she's carrying this woman is carrying this giant hammer, and she spins and twirls and throws it. It goes right through the top of the giant screen, breaking it. And you hear the narrator say something to the effect of, something is coming, a better way is coming. Apple will introduce Macintosh, and 1984 won't seem like 1984. And I remember at the time that I saw this, I saw this as a kid watching the Super Bowl, and I was blown away. I go, oh my God. I mean, it was like a movie commercial. Not like a commercial.
It's in the top 10 commercials of all time.
Why was it only shown once, though? Because it's a good commercial.
Well, the funny thing is, there's a long story about how some executives at Apple got cold feet and they were nervous. And originally they were thinking, they thought it was too intense, and it was going to be shown 3 times during the Super Bowl. And they told the ad agency, can you sell that time back to someone? And the ad agency sold only 2 spots, which left 1 spot. And that was the spot that aired. And it only aired that one time. It cost over $1 million to make. Yeah. But the funny thing about it is, because it only showed once, and it was such a dynamic commercial, after that commercial came out and the Macintosh was released, they sold something like 3 million.
The commercial got a lot of press. I remember that.
Huge, and everyone's, because you know how every year and we talk about this now, when you watch the Super Bowl, it's like, oh, hey, what was the best commercial? Right. I think it all started based on the 1984. What is the best commercial that we're going to see at the Super Bowl? Because this is when all the ad agencies, all the big products, they all put their big commercials, their best commercials, to show for the first time at the Super Bowl. They feel like that's the time when you have more people in front of the
butts and seats.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, it was such a great commercial. It was science fiction, and it's definitely sold their product only showing the commercial once.
Wow.
Great commercial.
Wow, and it's a good story about that commercial.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, there's the commercial that has a very sweet spot in my mind, which is the one that I did for Burger King, and it was around the time of one of the prequel Star Wars movies were coming out. I can't remember. I think it was
Phantom Menace. Star Wars?
No. It was a later one. It was, what's the last one?
Attack of the Clones?
Revenge of the Sith.
I think that's the one it was. But anyway, and the bit is, I am the manager in Burger King, and Darth Vader is my employee.
Well, that's a classic.
Yeah, and I bring him a mop and a bucket.
Yes.
And I go, okay, break time's over. And he looks at my mop, and he's got his lightsaber out, and he slices it in half. And
That's awesome.
and then it's all the classic Weinhold take,
Yes.
the cold
The
deadpan.
Weinhold oneer, we used to say on set. This guy nailed it.
And all I could tell you is that I shot this thing, and then when they were playing all these commercials, man, I saw the Wookiee one, I saw the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure it only played once as well.
Wow.
You know,
So
that-
you
And
can
I
check
think
it on
only
YouTube.
in Canada.
You know, it's interesting how you can kind of interpret that, because the way you're holding the mop kind of in front of you.
Very
kinda-
phallic, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well,
A lot of layers to that commercial. Maybe that's why it was only showed a couple times.
But that's
Do you remember
awesome,
who
though.
directed that?
I don't.
Was it Martin Granger? Is that-
Yes.
No, really?
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
What I do remember about that was that Burger King and the hottest agency at the time was Crispin Porter Bogusky. That probably did this.
Because they did a series of them.
They did a whole bunch of them,
Yeah.
but it was the first time, I believe, that Star Wars characters were licensed to do product.
To actually, like,
that's right.
appear
It was a
and-
combination. It was like Pepsi, Burger King. It's like everything that PepsiCo owned, I
Yeah.
think. So, yes.
And there was a number of Lucasfilm people on the set to make sure,
product integrity.
that Darth Vader was acting
Right.
exactly
Had to
like
look
Darth
exactly
Vader, and
right,
that
sure.
he swung his lightsaber just like Darth Vader does. And I always
Right,
wonder,
right.
too, if those are little things why one commercial outlasts another one, because maybe they went, oh, I don't like the way that Darth Vader was.
Oh, yeah, it could have been
swinging
all
the-
Vader.
Right,
Yeah,
that's possible. Totally.
That's my story.
So, Matt-
I blame it all on Vader.
no, Matt. So for our
What a
listeners,
sad man I am.
no, Matt. No, this is cool.
I just wax poetically about a man in a waffle suit with self-deploying chocolate squib.
So, yeah. So,
I'm the sad man.
Matt, if I wanted to see this,
Chocolate squib.
Matt, if I wanted to see this on
The Jordan
YouTube,
Brady
My
story.
memoir.
do I type in Burger King Darth Vader commercial, or do I type in Matt Weinhold?
I just put in Burger King Revenge of the Sith. And there's a couple different ones, but you'll find it.
So Matt's in the one with Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
Check it out.
It was fun to do because they were shooting the other ones, I think, within the same 2-day period. So they were also shooting a Chewbacca one,
Oh, wow.
like almost back to back with the one that I was doing.
Yeah.
And so we got to hang out with Chewbacca and the guy in the Chewbacca costume. So that was
that's
cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like a nerd dream, you know.
Totally.
Did you get any photos, with you hanging or something?
I had one, and then the phone got lost. It's classic story. But I remember we went to France not long after this on a vacation, and we're in France. We're in a restaurant, and we're talking to the waiter who knows English, and he mentioned Star Wars, that he loves Star Wars. I go, yeah, I was just in a Burger King commercial in Star Wars. He goes, you were in Star Wars? Next thing you know, like 9 people come out from the back and go, he was in Star Wars. And I'm trying to explain, like, no, it's a commercial. Like, no, he was in Star Wars. Come here. The guy brings his wife out. The owner of the restaurant comes out, invites us to his house for the weekend.
You got to roll with it, man. You're not
Yeah.
a dream crusher.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm in Star
awesome.
Wars.
People
yes.
will come up to me on the metro thinking I'm Javier Bardem, and I say, "Who am I to say?" I just go, "Yes."
I
Take
saw
a selfie.
I saw a screening of The Shape of Water, and Guillermo del Toro was there, and he opened up at the end. He's talking about the film, and he opened up with, "I know that a lot of people are looking at me thinking, what's Michael Moore doing here?" Great. And talk about a guy who I bet could rock a waffle costume is
Yes.
Doug Jones, man.
Oh,
And that's a
totally.
perfect example
Yeah,
of a
really.
guy who, it's different. You got another person, you put him in that
Yeah, you can
creature
tell- you know.
costume.
Right.
It's a whole
Doug
different
Jones,
thing.
a friend of the show. We
Yeah.
had him on for our monster
Wow.
acting episode.
Yeah.
One of our
One of the
first top
sweetest,
20.
nicest. Have you ever met him?
No, I haven't.
Oh, he is the greatest.
Well,
Coolest
we
dude.
did this show called Monster Acting, and he talked to us a lot about what it takes to be one of these guys in either the waffle suit or
full
the
makeup
or
and,
the
like,
or the giant moon Mac the Night costume.
that was
McDonald's.
what kind of it was one of his earliest things.
And Doug, he was so he's such a lovely guy, but he's also one of these guys. Pan's Labyrinth. He tells stories about in Pan's Labyrinth. He's got makeup all over his entire
He's
body,
unrecognizable a lot of
and
times, but
it
he's
took
like acting
takes
through
so
that.
long to put the entire outfit on him. They had finished filming for the day. They wanted to come back in 10 hours. And they knew they had all this time to take the makeup off. And he said, "You know what? Just take it off my head, and I'm going to sleep in this."
Wow.
And it's like this is one of the reasons why Doug keeps getting. My
He's a
God, he's
team
on
player.
he's on the new Star Trek TV series. My God,
Right,
but it's
right.
like he's one of these guys, and like Tom Woodruff is another person where it's like these guys to wear this stuff. It's uncomfortable. It's long.
Yeah.
You're in that outfit for a long time. It's uncomfortable. You get hot. But these are guys who go, "Hey, let's keep going," and they don't need all the breaks when they're supposed to take these breaks. But they're like, "Let's do what it takes."
Just complete troopers.
But
about
and
it, yeah.
Jim Carrey made a comment about to wear the Grinch costume. When you wear all that makeup and that costume, sometimes it can get very claustrophobic. Not everybody can do this. Jim Carrey had a freak out moment at one time, and this is a very talented actor being in a movie that I'm not really a fan of, but still, it's like he's got all this makeup on. To be a monster character actor, it's really, really hard.
Doug
Such a
Jones told a story about being the creature in The Shape of Water, and there's that dance sequence. I don't know if you've seen the film
I've
yet.
seen the movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Beautiful,
And
beautiful film.
it's a great scene, and they had a dancer who they were going to have do that part, and he got into the costume and just started projectile vomiting in the suit.
On purpose.
Well, he thought
Scare
it's a
anyone
horror
from-
movie. Yeah.
To scare anyone from wearing the suit.
But couldn't handle it. Yeah, got claustrophobia, and they
The
ended
dancer.
up...
I want to be
dancer.
clear.
I
the
thought-
dancer. No,
Yes.
the way
Yeah.
you explain it. So to be clear, the dancer that they put in the suit freaked out, threw up, and then they said, "You know what? This isn't going to work." Or
I
Guillermo
thought
goes-
the other guy was marking his territory.
Or-
hey, you can wear the suit, but I just vomited.
Or Guillermo said, "Oh, he threw up. That's not going to work." Doug, why don't you get in the costume and dance? Huh?
Well, that's what happened. Yeah, they ended up getting Doug.
Because I don't know why they wouldn't
Well,
do Doug
they
in the
thought,
first
they
place.
thought that maybe, a professional dancer maybe would
He's gonna
no,
bring a
pulled it off
certain...
perfectly.
No,
though.
you know what? You didn't need. He did a beautiful job.
Oh, it was
great.
gorgeous.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you know my wife and I? We went to see it. She cried at the end. I mean, she thought this was such a beautiful movie.
I loved it.
And-
I
and-
hope it gets as many Oscars.
You know what?
as it's been
Even
nominated.
We'll
if
see.
it doesn't, it's to get the acknowledgement that it's received.
that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
agree.
It's such a it's so fantastic. It's a beautiful movie, and if listeners, if you haven't seen Shape of Water, I'd suggest you go out and see it.
They should do like a Happy Meal tie-in with sea monkeys.
Well, this has been great. I mean, we could go on, and we're just.
And we
thank
gotta get you
so-
back.
We got.
Oh, I'd love to.
Jordan,
Thank you
yeah.
so
I
much.
promise you and the listeners, if you would have me back, I will bone up on my monster party material.
And we
No,
will-
seriously, like give me an assignment and I'll watch it. Like viewers, hit them up on the website. What do you want the non-genre guy to learn?
Now, Jordan,
Because that'd
wanna
be
hear-
fresh, right?
That would be great, but I would also like to hear just more of your
More
commercial
waffle.
stories.
I mean,
like,
we're
the
gonna
waffle
eat
thing
more
alone
waffles.
is-
you
that's
worked
an episode.
You worked with cats. I want to hear about
Yeah,
that.
all that
And-
kind of
and so,
stuff.
will you please come back?
I would love to. Thank you.
Right.
Now, is there
this
any-
has been so much fun.
Now, is there anything you can pitch? Something that you're working on that listeners can check out, or something?
Yeah.
Not. I mean, I just I make a lot
about
of
those
commercials.
films? What
Oh,
about
the
those
films.
films?
Yeah.
All
Oh,
your
yeah.
films.
You know what? I am Battle Comic. I went with some other comedians to Afghanistan. Did a bunch of shows for the troops.
Oh, wow.
And there's stories from guys like George Lopez, Dave Attell, who did shows in Iraq and Afghanistan. And it's a very heartfelt movie, and I'm really proud of it. IamBattleComic.com.
Awesome.
So that
Wait, I am Battle.
I am Battle
I am
Comic.
Battle Comic.
I-
Not like that. It's a terrible title.
I am battlecomic.com.
Yeah,
And
because the
it's-
first one was
yeah.
I Am Comic.
He did I Am
It
Comic.
was like Louis C.K. when he was appropriate.
yeah.
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
A bunch of Carrot Top.
Right,
Jeff
yeah.
Foxworthy. He runs the gamut.
Yes.
Right.
Right,
Dana
right.
Gould.
Dana
Gould's a big part of it. And that
then
was kind of a cult hit on stand up comedy. And then I'm Road Comic I mentioned where I lost my friend Tom Rhodes, and then I Am Battle Comic was the third in the trilogy.
Okay.
That's why the terrible name.
Okay.
Because it ties all in. So those are all on iTunes and
Awesome.
Amazon and all this stuff.
Okay.
Love to plug that. And I also
When's
do.
I Am Dance Comic coming out?
That would be a good. I Am Boat Comic would be good.
That is a good
yeah.
one.
Right?
That's a great idea.
Because cruise ships are
Yeah.
now the new comedy
Yeah.
clubs.
How about
right.
I am Waffle Comic?
I would love to do a documentary on these kind of characters, these kind of suits.
Actually, yeah,
Please.
that's true. That'd be
Yeah, I would
awesome.
love to
That'd
see
be
that.
fun.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
great.
Thanks so
and,
much,
do you
Jordan.
have a website or anything, or that you?
It's all at JordanBrady.com.
Okay.
What's your
JordanBrady.com.
address at
JordanBrady.com.
home?
Yeah.
What's your phone number? Give us
It's all on JordanBrady.com.
Yeah. Can I
Awesome.
borrow your car for a couple weeks?
It's right there at JordanBrady.com. I got the,
All right, great.
it says where I keep the keys right
Beautiful.
over the left bumper.
Well, Jordan,
Very
thank,
user friendly.
thank you so much
Thanks
for being
having
with
me.
us.
This
Yeah.
has been clearly the most recent podcast I've ever done, and the most fun. And you guys, it's really impressive the passion. No, I'm being serious. The passion that you have for your movies and your trailers and the knowledge. And so
That's
a
why
real
we're
treat.
together. It really is.
That's why we're friends.
And you, hey, you got some food. You know,
Oh,
we
I feel I
fed
got
you. You know,
fed?
you know, we're not a cheap podcast here. You know, we go all out.
You know what? A lot of people would have left the regular bulb in the little monster
Motionette.
man.
In your motionette, your gorilla
Motionette.
motionette.
Yes.
No.
But no,
You go
I
all
go the
out.
extra
You do
step and get the
flickering.
flaming one.
the
Yeah.
red flamey flicker bulb
That's the flicker bulb for company. Yeah.
for when
Right.
people come over.
Yeah.
Well, Jordan, thanks for being
Thanks
with
again.
us.
Bye.
so much.
Time for listener shout out.
Shout it out! Woo!
This goes out to Christopher Manuel from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Christopher
Right.
Manuel.
Nice.
Proud owner of a Monster Party cap.
Is he?
Cool.
Chris,
High quality.
Yes.
very high quality. Chris is a very talented portrait artist.
Cool.
He actually studied visual arts and graphic design. And judging by his Facebook, he's a big fan of The Creature from the Black Lagoon,
Awesome.
Akira Kurosawa, Sergio Leone, Ennio Morricone, and Universal Monsters.
Guy's got good taste.
All great.
Yeah.
movies.
Indeed. So, Chris,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Thank you.
Speaking of the Monster Party cap, we recently did a shout out to James Gibbs from Manchester,
James Gibbs.
UK.
Cool.
And James,
That's in England.
yes, it is. And he reached out to us on Twitter saying, I received my fabulous Monster Party cap and other freebies. It's a high quality cap you should all buy. Larry lied when he said it has over 17 billion stitches, though.
But I didn't say 17 billion.
Glad the other guys are there to correct him when he blatantly lies. Hashtag clown.
You're calling me a clown?
Well, I set the record straight, Larry. I told James, in fairness to Larry, it's actually me who tends to overemphasize the stitches,
Yes.
and it's Larry who corrects me. And he said, I know, I was just trying to bait Larry.
So there you go.
That's what I figured.
All right.
So
Yeah, and keep it up.
Now, you can buy the Monster Party cap on our eBay store, which is Monster Party Store, easy to remember. Let's also remind our listeners you can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Monster Party TV. On Twitter, we are at Monster Party HQ. Instagram is also Monster Party HQ. If you're listening to us on iTunes, please take a moment and write a review. We would love to hear from you. Also want to let everyone know that all the Monster Party episodes are now streaming for free on YouTube.
Cool.
So if you like listening to podcasts on YouTube, you can check us out there
Go
as
for
well.
it.
Yeah.
You won't believe your ear eyes.
And I'd like to thank our sponsors at Creature Features. Hey! Creature Features, located at 2904 West Magnolia Boulevard in beautiful downtown Burbank.
It is beautiful.
It is, and it's such a great store. Taylor, Eric, and Matthew, they have a fantastic store filled with all kinds of wonderful stuff to fulfill your monster needs. They have got magazines and DVDs and CDs and models, and they always have these great shows. Check out their website at Creature Features, and it'll tell you all the stuff that they're doing. I mean, they're having these great art shows.
They have a night gallery one coming up.
The night gallery in March.
They're supposedly going to have like original art, some of the original art paintings or whatever.
Oh, that's great.
I can't wait to get
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
But it's like every month they have something new. It's such a great place. You
Yep.
have to check out their website. Also want to thank the guys at Time Tunnel Toys. Hey! Time Tunnel Toys.
It's a store.
Located at 1583 Meridian Avenue in beautiful San Jose, California. And Joe and Sharon, their store is filled with fantastic vintage toys. And it's they have magazines and toys. It's in like the heart of like Silicon Valley in a way. They're kind of close to eBay and Apple and stuff.
Oh.
And everyone comes to their place to check out all the vintage toys that they have. And I don't know where they get it all. They must have a warehouse someplace. But they also, every 4 months, they put together this great vintage antique toy show at the Santa Clara Fairgrounds. So go to their website, Time Tunnel Toys. It'll give you all the information, and you've got to check out their toy convention.
And by the way, hang around after the end music because we're going to throw more trailer commercial information at you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun.
Well, I can't wait.
On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Strothe.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong!
Watch trailers and commercials and eat more waffles if you dare. All right, so let's talk commercials. Larry, you can't wait to offer some of your choices for genre-related commercials that stuck with you. Maybe, are they toy commercials?
Yeah, well, it's a variety of stuff. And I'm one of those guys who, I got one of those DVDs years ago that had commercials from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and I just love watching those.
Yeah, me too. Those are awesome.
But I know that James has a commercial he wants to tell us about.
Well, we were talking about the Star Wars Burger King tie-in, and there was another tie-in also from PepsiCo years ago that was a little bit more dubious, and that had to do with the Taco Bell Chihuahua. And the Godzilla.
I love that campaign.
Yes.
Carlos Alazraqui, old friend of mine.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah. Now, I love that campaign, too. Although, I don't know that movie... I mean, Godzilla already had some egg on its face from Godzilla 85, which...
Yeah,
had
you can't,
Right.
you can't blame the Taco Bell commercials.
No.
I didn't mind Godzilla 85 that I mean,
What?
Look, I have some issues.
Wait a minute. Godzilla, we're talking.
Godzilla 85. Well, in Japan it was Godzilla 84, and then they added.
But that's
some,
not the one we're talking about.
Well,
No.
I did mention the Godzilla 85 because it had all the Dr. Pepper references.
Dr. Pepper
It was
references.
sort of
Oh,
hit you
yes,
over the head.
yes.
I thought,
right.
but the Taco Bell one is the.
That's the 1998 Matthew
Roland
Broderick.
Emmerich. Yeah. One thing about it, I mean, the campaign was better, arguably, than the movie itself, and it had some
That's
cute. It had
true.
some cute spots.
Right.
Here, lizard. I remember that.
But just a little personal story. I actually have a dog that looks a lot like the Taco Bell Chihuahua. It's not a Chihuahua. And just recently, a couple of weeks ago, it's a Doberman Terrier mix, but it looks just like that dog. A couple of weeks ago, I was walking with my stepdaughter. We were running an errand, and in Venice Beach, still parts of Venice are a little bit dodgy. So we're walking by a bus stop, and we're walking the dog, and I was like, well, maybe we better carry the dog past the bus stop. So we pick up the dog, and we're walking by, and this kind of gangbanger sees the dog, and he goes, "Motherfucker likes Taco Bell." And I mean, that commercial's from like 18 years ago.
Yeah,
and
98.
it's got staying power.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Well, if you remember that whole campaign, I remember one of the issues. There was an issue where the first time you saw the little Chihuahua, some people thought that it was insulting, to Hispanic people or
Racist.
something. Yeah.
Right, right.
But then there was a follow-up commercial where the little dog is walking. And there's
And he says, "This is not racist."
No. On the television, it has a Jeopardy. Jeopardy's on TV, and they ask a question, and the Chihuahua stops and he says, "What is a logarithm?" And then he continues on to show that the Chihuahua is very smart. Do you remember that?
Oh, well, that makes
Wow.
up for it then.
Well,
Yeah, well, that's a whole different story.
And then
Wow.
he would go further and say, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." and I had little because look. Because he was a combination of, he was the Taco Bell mascot, but also was partially for the Godzilla movie. I had several of those little stuffed
Yeah.
Chihuahuas that you press the little button and it would say something because it was from the Godzilla movie.
And the one you put on your dashboard with the head nod.
Well, I didn't get that one. I just got the little stuffed one.
You still have those?
Minted package?
I don't think they came in a package. I think they were loose.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Mint in air? I don't know.
It's
what
weird
do you call
because
it?
it's not like I have those on a shelf someplace.
Mint
you
and
know?
taco?
I'm guessing those are on the list of things to let go.
Well,
Watch for them on eBay.
the Yo quiero Taco Bell dog. But that was a
The
fun.
Monster Party Chihuahua.
You know what? Hey, I thought that was a fun campaign. I like
All
the
right.
little guy.
Well,
Okay, well that's good.
fair enough.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
that. Okay, James, I like that.
All right.
So what do you got? Well, I threw this to you first, and then you punted it to James.
No, I want because I didn't want James to be left out, or I didn't want
You
to.
don't have to
I
hold his hand.
I was dominating the commercials and have him be pushed in the corner or something. I wanted to hear, and that's a good one.
It is a good one. Yes.
Do you guys remember
No.
one of the space toys, that really spoke to me? Actually came out in 1976, and these were the Micronauts.
Oh, yeah.
And if you remember the very first Micronaut toys, the interesting thing about these commercials, they didn't start out this way. They were being sold by adults. They had an adult guy introduce the Micronauts toys. So it wasn't like a kid playing with it. It was an adult
It
saying,
foretold the future.
yeah, yes. It's funny you should say that, but it's like these first ones, it would start out, you saw this guy with the giant set of Micronauts in front of him, this beautiful blue background, and the guy was an adult, and he would start out by saying, "This is the world of the Micronauts." And he's an adult introducing the toys, and he says,
Right.
"Interchangeable parts made of plastic and die-cast metal." And that line, die-cast metal, sold me. I thought,
Right.
oh my God, it's a toy that's made of metal?
What they didn't tell you was not a lot of die-cast metal.
Partially metal.
It's true, Matt. It's true, but still, it had die-cast metal.
Sure, yeah.
As a matter of
They were
fact,
cool.
No, hey. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something. Okay. Two of those figures, the space glider and the
Right.
galactic warrior, the arms, the body, and the legs and the feet were die-cast metal. They had plastic hands and plastic head, and then the accessory was plastic. But most of them was made out of die-cast metal. The Time Traveler, he's a guy that was all made out of plastic.
yeah.
But they introduced the characters, and the Croyer was the enemy, and the Space Glider had the little pop-up wings, and the Galactic Warrior had the shooting missile, which had a giant rubber tip on. So
Right.
when you shot it and it hit your eye, as a kid, it wouldn't blind you because
It would
was,
just bounce off your iris.
Well, yeah,
Right.
well, yes, yeah. I mean,
Or
you know,
go down your throat and you would choke.
no, it would hurt you, but not like the missiles from
Much like
the
a rubber bullet in a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But the funny thing is, these were toys that were made out of see-through plastic and the die-cast metal.
Yeah, they were
and
cool.
I remember, they were so. I remember going to the store. I remember I got this gift certificate for $5, and I went to go to the store, and I got my very first Micronaut all on my own, and it was the green Space Glider. Now,
How old were you?
this was
20.
76. No, I
And you
was-
went all by your lonesome, huh?
I look. You say like I had money to burn.
Were you allowed to cross the street by yourself?
Yes,
Okay,
I rode my
all
bike,
right,
but I got that figure. Now this was a toy that I actually took out of the package, and I loved it, and I played with it. And sadly, I mean I still have them, but the little rubber band that was inside them over the years it dried out and it
Right,
broke.
yeah.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
I have that exact same one, mint on card, still sealed. That will never be removed.
I've heard this story
And that
before.
will never be seen or
Never-
played with.
No,
ever.
it'll be seen.
Okay.
It'll be seen, but still. And
That's
but,
cool.
but
That's cool. The
yeah,
Micronauts were really.
and
they
this
were
is
unique
this is
toys.
pre Star Wars,
Right,
and they were
right,
made from
right.
EGGO. These are the same people who brought us the Planet
Well,
of the Apes
speaking of it,
figures.
that
I
was
sense a theme to a lot of the endings of your stories, Larry. And it's still in the package to this day. Yeah, of course.
You know what? I'm proud of that. I'm excited about that. And maybe
That's great.
we have a new listener that doesn't know. So
Well, speaking of Mego, though, the Mego 8-inch action figures, the commercials for the world's greatest superheroes were awesome because the commercials, they would go all out. They'd be like, the world's greatest superheroes.
Yeah.
You know, Superman, Batman. They would like Superman would be holding a rock.
Right.
You see Tarzan swinging a little vine.
Yeah.
You know, and then you would see Batman and Robin fighting the Joker, and I mean, they were like little dioramas and scenarios.
Yeah.
That didn't come.
But
with
then they got
action
to the
figure.
Falcon.
Yeah, and the Falcon, that great black superhero. That's literally how they say. it.
wait, are you serious? I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Yeah, basically his superpower was
He's black.
being black. Yeah.
You're kidding. I don't remember
But
that.
Spider-Man was like clinging to a wall, and they're
but-
just really cool commercials.
Can you
They
see
were-
that on YouTube?
They were cool, but when you compare them to like when you were talking about the Micronauts,
because you can see those on. You can do
yeah,
YouTube
and those
Micronaut
are cool.
commercials.
But if we're talking about environments and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, go back to Major Matt Mason and the Zeroids, because the
That's true, that's
Zeroids
true.
were these little robots that were battery operated, mostly plastic, but they looked really cool in Art Deco.
Yeah.
and a lot of those commercials, they would do an entire moonscape.
yeah,
They would,
that's true.
and it would
Yeah.
look really good, like an alien planet. And Major Matt Mason did the same type of thing, where they'd have these weird rocks that were lit very, 60s
Yeah,
Star
they
Trek.
went all out. I mean, it was
and
really
that's
cool.
the thing that was always a little misleading, especially when you're a very young boy.
Yeah, sure.
Is that you go, well, does the environment come with it?
Okay.
How
Or
about- yeah.
does the figure come with the
Okay.
Yeah.
vehicle?
Okay. Oh, I want to.
Or the Mego Planet of the Apes commercials.
Yes,
where you see
Planet of
like
the
Those were better.
the astronaut washed up on the shore.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
wet, and then he comes in. He's the treehouse and
Yeah.
all that. I mean, they were
Yeah.
just cool.
No, I just want to
Mego-
say. Oh, go ahead.
No, the Mego superhero commercial is really cool because they've actually got the Marvel and DC characters in the
They're
same
all together,
commercial, which
yeah.
you never see.
That's true. They're all combined.
Now, the only thing I wanted to say about that Major Matt commercial, Major Matt Mason commercial, I just want to correct you a little bit. The very first one, which is in color, it actually is in 1968. And when it starts, what you see is it appears that it's nighttime and the parents, there's like a party. And there's all these parents in the living room or something with a giant
It's like a key
no,
exchange.
they're all,
party.
no,
Major Matt Mason key parties were the best.
Okay, listen. It's a party, and all the parents are in the living room having cocktails. Whereas in the backyard, that's where all the kids are and there are all these rocks. And so
That's
it kind
funny.
of comes down. The camera comes down where you see the kids with all these rocks. And yes, Matt, I mean they did some cool stuff with the lighting, but it's nighttime. But what's cool
Right,
about
right.
that particular commercial is the way they introduce the
cocktails.
character. No, not the cocktails.
The swingers.
No, not the swingers. The way they introduce each of the characters. Meet Major Matt Mason, Mattel's man in space and the bravest astronaut yet. He lives on the moon. We all may be there soon. A lot of the stuff, it's like a Dr. Seuss book that has and Sergeant Storm in his red uniform. They tried to
that's
do all
cool.
these
I
little
don't
rhyming
like
thing.
that. I don't like it to rhyme.
Oh, well, I loved it.
No,
I loved
I'm
it.
not.
But the
it's
fun
too
thing,
kiddie.
Well,
I like it to be taken
Matt,
a little more seriously.
in '68, you were 4.
Yeah, and I'm telling you.
You thought
But
that
I
was
read at a 4.5-year-old's level.
Okay, see, the
You're already
funny
doing coke.
When I
was
look,
Mr.
Mr. Cocaine.
Junior Cocaine Kit
Look,
from Remco.
Look, when I first saw
You are the one that freebases.
Look, when I first saw those commercials, I thought those toys were beautiful, but I might as well forget about ever having them because I thought there was so much money. And I remember my parents got a bunch of Major Matt Mason toys on sale.
Oh, wow,
you know,
cool.
and so it wasn't like it was belonged to any one kid. It was like, here, kids, here's a group of Major Matt Mason toys. So that's what I recall. So it's like the space crawler wasn't really mine. It belonged to all
Right,
of
and that's
us.
why with the Micronauts, that was more like
that was
your world.
It was
Right,
my
Yeah.
world.
Cool.
No, that's cool. No, those are great toys, and I did love those commercials because they really did capture a nice, weird alien quality.
Yeah, and then the last commercial. I mean, I've got a bunch, but just one really cool one because you can find this on YouTube. And I had heard about this, and I've been trying to find because, as we all know, I'm a big fan of like creepy dolls. I have a big collection of creepy dolls. Like
those
the
are cool.
Madame Alexander. I have a bunch of the Living Dead dolls and Madame Alexander. I have the Addams Family and stuff. But there's this one doll that was sold to the public not as a creepy doll, but as a cool doll, a fun doll. But if you look at the commercial, it is kind of creepy. And this is from I think it's like 72, but it's called Baby Laugh-A-Lot. Have you seen this?
No.
It's the way it starts is there's this little girl that puts a doll in a rocking chair, and the doll has these little ponytails on either side of its head with a large laughing smile, similar to Jack Nicholson's Joker. Yes, that's it. And what happens is the narrator says, "You press the button," and she laughs. And you see all these girls that cut the girls looking at the doll like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Then it shows all the girls laughing, but the laughter of the little doll is like,
It's kind of like it looks like the Funhouse lady.
yes, Matt. Yes, and the funny thing is, if you look at it now by Remco, it's really creepy. It looks like something that in a Chucky movie, in Child's Play. And the weird thing is, I want one of these badly. But
No, that's pretty cool. I do like that.
But Matt, to find them functional, it's really, really hard.
Yeah, no, it has to laugh or forget it. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you've lost. What's the point? Exactly. But if for listeners, if you go to YouTube and type in "baby laugh a lot" or "creepy laughing doll," you'll see it and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So this is one of the new things on my list that I'd like to try. Well, not new. I've wanted it for a while, but it's just.
I have a doll that I believe it's called Susie Moppet, and it was the doll that you could buy from like the 700 Club,
Oh my
the
gosh.
Jim and Tammy Faye Baker.
Right?
No.
And it was this little blonde-haired, creepy-looking doll. Kind of had sort of a Cabbage Patch doll kind of look to it.
Right,
I'm
right.
sure they were copying it because
Sure,
it was
sure.
popular.
Right.
But it had like a little record in it.
Yeah.
And it would say I love Jesus. And it was
Wow.
and then like you could turn the record over and it would say something else like I really love Jesus or whatever
How did
else.
you
I
get
forget.
this doll, Matt?
I was in like an antique mall. And it was
Wow.
$25, and I was like, "Oh yeah!"
now, of course, we're not making fun of anyone who feels this way. Like
I think
the
it's
doll.
fair to make fun of Jim and Tammy Faye Baker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
And this doll was creepy. Mm-hmm. If we're going to talk about any kind of genre-related commercial, I think we have to at least pay a little bit of respect to the entire Monster cereal line.
Oh,
Because
totally.
every one of those,
All
and
the
I
General
know,
Mills,
yeah, all the General Mills, Frankenberry, Count Chocula, Boo
Frankenberry,
Berry,
Count Chocula,
and then,
Frankenberry.
and then the less popular ones, Fruit Brute. That was the werewolf wearing Doug Henning overalls.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that though. When like
It was-
at
it was-
no. That was years ago. But Sean, I mean, every year with Halloween, it seems like at Target they have
Well,
it's the main. They
a couple
have
years back, they put all of them out. They put out
Yummy Mummy?
Yummy Mummy,
No.
Fruit Brute, of course, Blueberry, Frankenberry, and Count Chocula. And I got several boxes. Like Target would have them, and it was done in the classic retro style of the 70s artwork.
Yeah.
And it was the cereal, and all the cereal is delicious.
What was what kind of flavor was Yummy Mummy?
Yummy Mummy was it orange or vanilla? I can't remember.
It was not. It was that was
tastes like
whenever
toilet
they got into
paper.
orange. Orange never worked in cereal too much.
It was mummy flavor.
Yeah, it tasted like tana leaves.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny. My daughter and we did this whole thing where I got all 3 cereals. Chocula, Frankenberry, Blueberry, and Blueberry was her favorite.
Blueberry is so good. They're all so good. I think Blueberry is my favorite.
What's your
actually.
They're a little too. I would probably say Frankenberry.
Frankenberry, you're a strawberry
Yeah.
James.
Really?
I don't really love those
Chocolate
cereals.
I love too.
I really don't like those cereals though at all.
Really?
For the
You don't
most
like the
part.
sugary
No.
cereals?
I can
No,
eat
I
those-
do like them, but those particular ones
Right.
are a little too chemical flavored for me.
It's not for me. I could eat them
Yeah,
now.
no,
every day
like
for
Captain
breakfast.
Crunch and that kind of stuff. That's where I live.
Okay,
Like peanut
can I-
butter Captain Crunch.
Oh, yeah.
I could eat that till I
Crunch
fall
berry.
over.
What about Captain
then
Crunch
I-
with Crunch Berries?
That's great. I love all the Captain
What
Crunch.
about Oops, All Berries? Do you remember that?
Too much. It's
It was
too much.
all berries.
Yeah,
There was a horrible accident in the factory, and suddenly it was all berries.
No.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
didn't,
People were killed. It was terrible. But
It's too much. It's too much.
It's like
And-
oops, diabetes.
well, and there was Cinnamon Crunch, which that
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
last
I
too
remember
long. That
that.
was Jean Lafitte. Jean
Yeah, that was
Lafitte's
good.
Cinnamon Crunch.
of course,
But his name was John
best,
Lafitte.
But
you
the best of
know?
all
It's
of them,
hilarious.
But the best of all of them, Quisp,
Yeah, the alien
Quiz.
cereal.
greatest cereal ever.
And those
Yeah.
commercials
Still.
were so great.
Oh
And
my God, Quisp and Quake.
yeah, and there was Quisp and Quake, and there was at one point a battle between the two of them.
And we're
Yes,
talking about
and
this
you
is in
can
the
vote.
This is the 60s, yeah.
You could vote. It was a
Yeah,
late.
you could
It was the
vote.
70s. I wrote in. I wrote in and voted for Quisp.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
Yes. I
Well,
remember.
Quisp was an alien.
And he was cool. Like Quake
He-
was,
yeah.
just, was just dumb.
He was-
just
well, he's a construction worker.
Yeah, it was a miner.
Oh, minor?
Yeah, and he was just a regular guy who was a miner. Who
Or like
cares?
a guy with a pick and a shovel.
Quisp was from outer space. He was an alien.
And a
Quisp-
spaceship.
Quisp was an alien, and Quake was a douchebag.
yeah.
Just kind of a bully, big,
Yeah, just a dumb lump.
brawny dope.
Yeah.
And so he had to go. And that
yes.
he had to go. He had to go. And that cereal too was not pleasant.
It wasn't that,
Imagine
yeah, it was
if-
a poor man's Captain Crunch.
It was
kind of.
Captain Crunch, but imagine if you know, like you eat Captain Crunch and it kind of will destroy the inside of your mouth.
Your tongue.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to the back of your
But it was
tongue.
worth
Quake
it, though.
did it like in seconds. They were giant boulders of pain.
He was a miner. He was like picking at your
See,
gums.
the funny thing is I remember eating Quisp, but I don't remember Quake eating Quake at all.
Yeah, well, it didn't.
No,
last
he
that
wouldn't
long.
eat his own cereal.
No. I don't remember eating that cereal.
Yeah.
Oh, now I understand what you're saying.
Right. I think.
Oh, demon booze.
But you know, in the only time I got those sugary cereals was really when I spent the night at a friend's house.
Really?
'Cause-
Oh, yeah,
Well,
you
and
were
my
a fan
always
of them,
had
yeah.
them.
No, my my
always
parents.
had them.
It was like Life Cheerios, you know,
Ugh,
basic
Kix.
Kicks, yeah.
Yeah.
Or every once in a while we get one, Apple Jacks because it had apple in it, you know.
Yeah, it didn't
Oh,
taste
that was
anything like
horrible.
apple.
You know,
but
and
that
I'm
was
not even
good.
sure that was real apple.
No,
No,
of course
no,
not.
But those commercials from Quisp
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
monster cereals,
Yeah.
those were all great because they were cartoons.
Yeah, right.
They were cartoons, and now I know how you feel about the Groovy Ghoulies, Larry, but
Yes.
for some reason, for me, and for the most part, I'm with you. Like, I don't like my monsters too wacky.
Yeah.
But when you make them into cereal, I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
bring it on.
Okay.
They could have made a Quisp TV show.
Yeah.
They really could
Yeah.
have.
Matt, I do want to say this. I hear what you're saying, and for some reason, because those monsters were a part of a cereal,
Yeah, they were
it
they were
didn't
mascot
bother me that much.
advertisement
Although,
mascots.
although, if you kind of look at Frankenberry's head, it does kind of look like a butt.
It does. It looks
Yeah,
kind of like the
that's-
Teleusians from Star
It
Trek.
does.
Yeah, that's why it was my favorite cereal. Yeah.
But
I motorboated that ass
you
in
know,
my mind.
This is kind of off topic a little bit, but I think it was a Robot Chicken that did a great little gag thing about those cereals, the monster
Really?
cereals,
That's
and
funny.
why the creature from the Black Lagoon never got his own cereal. and it shows. And if you go on YouTube, you type in robot chicken creature from Black Lagoon, and he gets a call. He's watching TV, and he goes, "What? They have their own cereal?" And then he gets a call from Fruit Brute, and he goes, why do all these guys have all their cereal? I'm going to make my own cereal. So he creates, the creature from the Black Lagoon creates his own cereal, and it's creature from the Black Legumes, or so, creature from Black Legumes.
That's good.
And the sad thing is, the poor creature, he gets the cereal made, and he's in a grocery store trying to hand out samples, and nobody wants it.
That's funny.
But it's a great, it's Robot Chicken. They did it's a really funny thing. On
those
and
cereals
why
were
the
great.
creature never got a cereal.
That is funny.
That's good.
All right, Sean. So I know that you have some trailers
I have a couple
under your
trailers
hat.
I just want to throw around again because there's one. Okay, here's a movie that we all know and love. I think that is From Hell It Came.
Yeah.
The walking tree monster.
Yes.
And the monster in the movie is Tabanga.
Yeah.
Tabanga.
the tree monster.
I'm trying to remember the trailer, though.
The trailer is really funny because
Remember the cereal? Tabongos?
Tabanga bits.
No, there's no cereal. But
But
what's
in the trailer,
what's the trailer?
they get Tabanga's name completely wrong.
What?
Yeah, it's called Baranga.
No.
It's not only like words on the screen, but then the narrator will say like Baranga, the tree monster. Cannot says Baranga. Baranga. They just got it wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's completely. So if you watch the trailer for it, it's like they call it. It's identified as a Baranga.
I'll have to check that. I don't remember that one.
They got
which
it,
is pretty funny.
They got it wrong.
He's back.
And I also love like horror trailers. Where like we're talking about how we do they do specially filmed things for the trailers. Of course, a classic '80s one is It's Alive. It's great because there's only
Very
one.
similar to the Suspiria one.
Yeah.
In its production value.
Because what you see in the trailer is not in the movie.
Right. You see a birthday cake with a claw through it, and then you see a baby carriage with a claw hanging out. And there's only one thing wrong with the Davis's baby.
But does it
It's
turns?
alive.
It turns
you hear that-
because you don't know. You don't
Isn't
see the claw.
cake one later?
Oh, the cake might be the sequel.
Yeah.
It might be right. That's true. It's possible.
What I remember is in the trailer, it's there's something wrong with the baby, and,
right.
and what happens is the crib kind of turns,
And you just see the
and
claw.
you don't know it
Yes.
has to turn.
Yeah,
and the
right.
claw
Correct.
is hanging out of the
Right.
That's
and this-
right.
And this was made specifically for a trailer.
Yes.
And that one
It has-
didn't show any scenes in the movie. You just saw that. And that was pretty effective.
But that was effective.
But there's also ones that are clever, which you kind of remember the trailer. The movie may be kind of not great, but there's a slasher film from the 80s called Visiting Hours. And this is
Hospital?
Yeah, it takes place in a hospital.
Shatner?
William Shatner is in it. Lee Grant, Michael Ironside is the killer.
I'm trying to remember.
It's kind of like a typical slasher
Right.
film, but the trailer is you see this exterior of a large hospital, and the lights are slowly blinking out until they form a skull.
Which is the poster.
Yeah.
remember
And that was like
that.
really cool. So that was really cool.
William
And they show a
Shatner
couple
was
quick scenes, but like you just remember that skull forming from the lights in the windows.
Sean, I remember that now.
And there's one that was great, which is this is an 80s film that they filmed a special thing for the movie that has nothing to do with the movie and is not in the movie. It's a film called Mortuary. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
kind of like a slasher film, but the commercial has this like really creepy atmospheric graveyard set, and Michael Berryman is a gravedigger and he's digging in the grave. And there's a narrator saying like, before your funeral and your coffin lid is closed, before you are buried and your flesh turns cold, before you are covered with the last shovel full of dirt, be sure you're really dead. And like a hand comes up and grabs Michael Berryman and pulls him into the ground. It's a mortuary. And that has nothing to do with
The scene is not in the movie.
He's not in the movie.
Michael Berryman's
No,
not.
he's not in the movie.
From Hills
And he's
Have
the
Eyes.
victim.
It's not an undead film.
Oh my
gosh! So it's really fun. But the trailer was really cool. Like, whoa, mortuary. So it was like they kind of like were purposely maybe trying to not promote it as another slasher film, I guess.
I don't remember this
but,
one.
and it was an effective trailer, and the movie's not bad. It's a slasher film.
But did you expect Michael
Well, yeah, I
Berryman
thought
to
maybe
be in
Michael
it?
Berryman, because Michael, the thing is that's funny is because Michael Berryman is a known cult actor in
Cult
these kind of
actor,
movies.
yeah.
So you think, oh, because Michael Berryman's in, no, he's not in the film.
Oh my god!
So it's kind of pretty funny.
I have a question for you guys. I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with the theatrical trailer for 2001 Space Odyssey.
I think so.
It's a long trailer.
Yeah.
It's over 3 minutes.
See, Kate, here's what I'm going to tell you, Matt. I may not know if you're thinking of a specific one. I may not remember exactly because I remember seeing.
Well,
something.
here's my dilemma.
That's a long.
It's a very.
trailer.
It's like 3.5 minutes. It's a long trailer, and it's one of those ones where, again, my question is were they showing too much, or did they need to show a lot to get people to come to this thing and be intrigued by it? Because it also gives away a lot of stuff. Like in the beginning of the trailer, I'm with it because it shows you a little bit of the apes, and then it goes right to space.
Right.
And so you're getting an idea of there's this sort of space mystery with the monolith, and there's a...
Is the trailer called something like, it's like 2001 extended trailer or long trailer?
No, it's just it's the theatrical trailer.
Okay.
But one of the things that bugs me about it is that as the trailer progresses, you get to the Hal stuff. And the thing that makes the Hal story great is that you kind of are creeped out by Hal, but you don't know that he's going to become murderous.
Right. Okay.
And the trailer even shows the open the pod bay door. So
Really?
and I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
It shows that?
And that's like a big moment.
It is a big moment.
And so I don't understand. Like, you could make Hal seem creepy and show some, scattered scenes of things happening. Maybe Frank Poole flying through space,
Right.
untethered.
Yeah.
And give an idea that something goes wrong with this mission.
Yeah.
Without giving that part away. And I thought that was like, the trailer had me because it was taking its time. It was building, I think, excitement of this new big science fiction movie that obviously a lot of work went into, and it's this massive epic.
So it sold you. I mean, I don't know when you saw the preview because you were a kid when it came out. But
Well, just over the years.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but did it sell you enough to make you say, if this came out when you were an adult, you go, oh my God, I've got to see this?
I would still see it, but I would feel a little bit disappointed by the fact that they gave away that moment.
Matt, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to tell you what my educated guess is. My belief is that the film, when Kubrick finished the film, I don't think the studio knew what to do with it, quite honestly. And I think they were nervous.
And I think they were giving everything they could to that trailer to get people to
Because
come see it. Like, hey, there's a murder, and there's a crazy computer.
I don't think if they did a couple of scenes or in a standard thing with a voiceover goes, it's about universe or what happens when man... I think they're too nervous. That's what I think, Matt. I think when in doubt, try to give them more information. Make them really want to see this instead of giving them a teaser. That's what I'm guessing.
And I'm wondering if they had to present Hal as a bad guy in the trailer to show that there is a bad guy.
With that voice, with that peaceful voice. And maybe that was their hook. I mean... I don't know if Kubrick was... Do you think Kubrick had anything to do with that? Does anyone...
I would think
that doesn't
so.
sound like something that he would do.
I don't know. I mean, I would think that he, at that point, had enough control.
Yeah.
No, not
when it came to advertising?
Not with advertising.
Yeah, okay.
I would think he had...
not.
They're probably... Look, okay, it's your film. You get to make the film, but
We'll take it from
as
here.
a studio, our job is to sell the film that you
And
made.
it's not a horrible trailer.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it does make you intrigued to want to see this movie, but 3.5 minutes?
Well,
That's pretty long.
See, I don't know if I ever saw that one. Stuff that I saw that I recall with 2001, it was like the film had been out, and it was like a re-release, So it was like the story is back. Don't miss. That.
And by that point, you're okay with any of that kind of spoiler in a trailer because everyone's supposedly already seen the movie, or if you haven't, you've heard about it. So it's not going to be a big surprise that the computer went crazy.
I mean, we've talked about this. I remember my parents actually took me to see. It was bizarre. I mean, I had no idea what I was seeing when we went, but it was playing at a college. And it was me and my brother, some brothers and sisters that came with us, and we all saw it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? At first, I thought it was going to be this ape movie. Sure,
yeah.
And then we got out of space. And I'm like, whoa, what's that?
I saw it when it came out.
Yeah.
My parents dragged me to it, and talk about a fever dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. By the end, I remember being into it, but just not knowing what the hell was going on. And luckily, I wasn't the only one.
Right. I
Right.
mean, I didn't understand it.
Right.
So you had
I don't
to-
think anybody did.
You had to come back down to earth and then like go see Night of the Lepus.
Now this I get. This could happen.
To you.
To you. And now, how about some outtakes? We
Exactly.
edit this, and so anything you say that you
Will be
go,
used
you know what,
against
I'd
you."
rather not, actually, on second thought.
She and I don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
If you
When
say
I
something,
said herpes, I
meant
didn't-
gonorrhea.
I didn't go to a doctor. I just armchair diagnosis.
So what we're going to do is Matt's going to kind of introduce the show, and then we introduce ourselves, say what the topic is, and then we're going to introduce you, and then we'll go to town.
I love it.
Okay, and then the last thing, Jordan, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be taking some pictures live.
I
you know,
love it. I love it.
yeah. So we have a little
Candid
action
photos.
shot. So just act natural.
Just,
you know,
be yourself.
Yeah, be
You know
yourself.
what? You know, have fun. Just have fun.
I feel pretty and thin.
Okay, we're all good level wise.
I love everyone's levels.
Yeah.
They look
Did we
good.
hear?
Good.
Did we hear
Good.
James?
They look
You hear
good
me?
on the machine.
Level. Hello, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Good.
Sounds
Hi
good.
there.
All right.
Hi there. I'm a little low.
You're
but,
not,
you
though.
know. Okay.
You're good.
You just turn up your
You know what?
earphones.
You know what? No. You know what? I'm fine.
Hey, wow.
I'm going to go with the flow.
Imagine that after
Right.
And there's
more than 100 episodes. Finally, trust.
and there's something I need to work on.
You were here for it, Jordan.
What episode is this number? We don't know
This
yet.
is like 108 or something.
wow.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is I'm flattered.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is going to be
Flattered.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Yes,
You
For
are
the
I
past
can't
4
believe
years,
it.
every other week, like clockwork.
Imagine that.
No.
A podcast coming out on a regular basis.
He's being Mr. Jokester here.
Yeah, Mr.
but
Funnybag.
Yeah, because that's what he is. He's Mr. Funny.
Chuckles.
That's what I am.
I'm Matt Weinhold. I'm a funny
Santa
guy.
Claus.
But here's the thing. The thing is, there are podcasts out there where people, they're sporadic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there are other monster podcasts out there that
Really?
may do
No.
like a couple, and then they'll be gone for about a month. And then you go, what the hell is it? What's going on? And then
And you
then
worry.
Rules.
And then you get
Clowns.
worried and you call.
Yeah.
But
You
then
gotta-
nothing.
But here at Monster Party, religiously, bi-weekly, a show every
Okay.
other week.
Great
Bi-weekly.
story. Now, what if we actually did the show? Let's do that, okay? Let's start it. There's going to be a little moment of silence,
Wait.
and then we're going to go into
Let's
it.
see. Wait, there was something.
And we're going to call this trailers and commercials.
Should be horror and sci-fi trailer.
Do we need to say that, or can we just say trailers and commercials?
I think trailers and commercials.
Because it seems too much.
I'm with you.
Horror, sci-fi, fantasy,
What, do you
and
like that?
genre
Do you know what that
trailers and
is?
commonette.
That's a motionette, sir.
That's a moral support.
Motionette.
A motionette from the late '80s.
The closest we have to representation.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Does he come with the flickering candlestick?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Is this part of the show?
No. He's
Yeah.
not going to put this in the show.
You
No,
have to lubricate
Just
it,
really,
but
we're really quick.
It's worth it.
The original had just a regular light bulb that kind of was like a white thing. I put in the flickering one because I
You're a
thought it was
genius.
better.
Plussed it.
But
Plussed it. You made
yes,
it premium.
yes, but I still have the original bulb.
Just
in
in
case.
Well, that's now I can sleep. Save it for the book.
Let's go.
Now,
trailers and commercials.
trailers and commercials.
Wait,
Okay.
there's something. Oh shoot. Okay.
What do you need? All right, you
it's
ready?
it's a personal thing.
Work. What do you need?
It's my issue.
Okay, great. Then never mind.
I think my nose is running
Goodness,
though.
look at that.
Blow and let's do it.
Well, okay, blow. Where should I blow? Should I just blow on the table? No. No, I'm going to get something.
No,
you
I'm-
sit. No,
I'm
no,
in a
no,
better
no.
position.
I dare. Do not
in
get
a
out of your
pos-
chair.
What the fuck? I'm so sorry. Anyway, that's a whole nother episode. We'll save that for things that I don't give a shit about right now episode.
Okay. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to work on trying not to say a particular phrase, which on our last show I said it a lot. So
Okay.
I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, and remember the old rule of count 30 seconds to let the joke finish before you say, no, that's not true.
Is that a rule? Is that a new one?
It's not a rule, but it's a general rule
I think
of
rule
thumb.
of thumb, yeah.
A rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we're making a joke, and if you jump on that, we've talked about this before.
No,
yes,
I
we
don't
have.
remember. 30 seconds.
Well,
that's a long
30
time.
seconds.
Have
10
you
seconds.
counted?
30 seconds
Have
of
you
silence.
counted? Have you counted? 30
Can we agree on
seconds?
5? Okay.
All right, go.
Jesus Christ. I'm
gonna try and-
So sorry, Jordan.
Okay, here's another thing.
All right, here we go. Ready? So, let me get this straight. This is the thing that you do every week. And you're searching through 900 pages. Larry? Larry,
Yes.
this is the thing you do every week. What are you waiting for?
Creature features. Beautiful downtown Burbank. Magnolia Boulevard.
Time.
Are you suggesting that I like sound like Dribble or,
No, that was a perfect impression.
I don't sound like that.
Okay. Let me do it.
Okay. Let me do something different here. How about this?
Ooh.
And I'd like to thank our sponsors, Creature Features.
I kind of like this. That you went,
I can't even.
you went
do
into
it.
your sexy voice.
That's not my sexy voice.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Okay, here we go. Just shut up. Everyone.
right, go for it.
Come on. And I'd like to thank our sponsors, guys at Creature.
You don't know. Wow. You can't even do that, and you expect to be a waffle.
Okay. I did want. There was a time when I wanted to be a guy in, monster.
Oh, absolutely. I would want to.
All of us do.
I would want to be in any commercial that, like, I was a piece of fruit or a carpet, or I would love to do that.
But it's like it is true that it takes so much. Like when you see Doug Jones in The Shape of Water, being in that costume or anything he's done, it's
Yeah, any of those
I mean,
guys.
the guy's a pro.
Yeah, no. Well, he
Total
brings
pro.
brings it to a whole different level.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me get back to this here. Okay. And I'd like to thank our sponsors at Creature Features. Hey! Creature Features, located at 2904 West Magnolia Boulevard. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Whoa, demon booze.